Yeah, welcome to Brothers and Booze. Don't you miss those days?
I do miss beer festivals, but like some of them, that was just funny because it was like a Bronx cheer, but in Germany. So Frankfurt
Right.
cheer, I guess.
I don't even know if that was pre-COVID, post-COVID, if it's going on now. I miss that environment of that craziness.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's that way for you when you go to a beer things like that, and then you're like, all of a sudden someone will go whoa, and everybody has to like do this giant toast. And it's like, who the fuck is like taking time out of their day to be like, let me do this dumb toast in the middle of it?
Whoa. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, Doug, I'm pulling out something that should be familiar to you.
Okay. What you got? Oh, hey, that looks familiar. Like
Yeah, how old is this beer? Or
going on a year and a half.
Yeah, so talk about aging.
Yeah, did you age it sideways?
Yeah, and then I poured it in a damn dirty ass glass, but I thought I washed this out. But yeah, we've had aging failures here and aging major successes, right?
Yeah, it's
we'll see.
Hit or miss. So, what do you think of that one?
Ooh, nice bourbon accent, crisp. The ginger's still there. The mint and the lemon. Really nice. Right for the time, man. Like crisp. But you get that bourbon kick at the end. I like it. I like it a lot. Damn.
Nice little start with the little bourbon kick to begin the show well.
Do you remember this one?
I do. I remember we went and got it. And then I think you also, didn't you pick up like a gin and tonic one as well?
Yeah, but I drank that one. But you've had this before, right?
Yeah, I've had all those little drink. Well, not all of them. They have a couple ones that I haven't because it's not really my style. But
this is great.
Yeah. So I'm gonna pour some out to a glass I got from our boy Mr. Rosen and his little website. Look at that glass. It's ostensibly for a Scotch ale, which I'm not pouring this, but I wanted to use a glass. So,
well, there you go.
Yeah. So what I grabbed was something from Captain Lawrence, which is a New York State brewery out of Elmsford. I don't know where Elmsford is called. Orange Crusher. It is an orange flavored lager. So,
all right, bring it.
Yeah, it's only 4.2 ABV, so it's going to be low, but that's all right.
Good evening, Brock.
Mm-hmm.
Good evening, JHG. Yes, bourbon. Mm-hmm.
Look at that. That's pretty light, but I'm guessing that's because of the orange. Ooh, the orange is really, really lovely on the nose there. Mm. Oh, that's really nice, really crisp. The orange is in the flavor with the lager as well. It's not a I'm gonna say heavy lager. That's the wrong terminology, but like that really classic German lager flavor. It's not that much lighter. The orange works really well with this. Is be an excellent lawnmower beer, excellent shower beer. Not in this glass though, but
this lager interesting.
Yeah, they had another one that I mentioned to my wife was like I also like Abita makes a strawberry lager that I think is really good too. So,
oh yes, they do.
Yeah.
Beer mimosa or not that far?
Actually, no, because not that there's no citrus. I mean, the orange is considered a citrus, but I mean like not that lemony kind of citrus that you'd have with mimosas. But well, yeah, and I get the orange juice, but it's not heavy on the orange. The orange is like. It's a good mix. So maybe not quite a beer mimosa, but in the neighborhood.
Nice. I've been loving the lagers lately, man. So without further ado, we're going to bring in our guest. He is someone who is familiar to both of us. His wife has been on. He's been on. I affectionately still call him Lakefront Cary, but that's like 6 jobs ago now. Like he has moved on, y'all. But I met him as Lakefront Cary. Just going around. I forget. He could probably tell you better than me. I think we met at the Beer and Cheese Festival, or I'm not sure, but I knew him before that.
There's a Beer and Cheese Festival.
the Isthmus Beer and Cheese Festival, and it's fantastic. Mostly, actually, I don't really want to slam it, but there's something the drawback is that they add too many people, Doug, so it gets overfilled. There's just too many people. Other than that,
Beer
oh
and
my
cheese
god,
is a really combo, man.
right. So when Cary worked for Lakefront, we can talk about it a little bit, but I want to talk about it aside before we get to him. But when Cary worked at Lakefront, he was Lakefront Cary, so he was like the representative for Lakefront and Madison. And Lakefront, I don't know if you know Lakefront, but they're legendary here. So one of the things that was really cool about Cary is that he made sure that I got their Black Friday beer, which is their like big stout that we love. And it's just fucking fantastic and amazing. If I think you caught one of the beer Badger Beer Hours where we talked to the Lakefront owner, and he was talking about that beer. Anywho, it's a fantastic, beautiful, big black beer, and it's one of the best ones in the whole state. Cary made sure I had it. He was like, "Man, you got to come over here at this time." And I think it was the first time I had it, and it just blew me away. So yeah, he was a beer guy. This is how we met, but now he has transitioned into coffee, and he's a coffee guy now. And I know me and you are coffee. I don't even say aholics, but I gotta have one at least a day.
Yeah, I have at least 2 pretty dark coffees per day, usually 3. So,
and you're a French press guy too, right?
I am. I got questions for Cary. Trust me. So,
all right. So, without further ado, here's our friend here.
Is the audio working?
Yes.
Yeah, we did it.
Great. It's great.
Awesome.
Welcome.
Yeah, pre-production was fun.
Yeah, right. It's the week wasn't long enough. Let's just throw technical issues at it too.
Yeah. The quick cliff notes for everyone. They both got on in like 2 minutes before, and we couldn't hear Cary, and we almost went online, and Cary was like, "Hello," and we're like, "Hey, there's your audio. It's great, dude." He was like, "I didn't do shit." Well,
I didn't. I was reaching for an analog set of earbuds, and then all of a sudden you could hear me. I don't know what happens. Technology's great.
Wow, look, we have Chris Pratt on the show.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
Is that
that is a low bar.
Is that someone you get compared to?
Have you ever heard that one before?
I have.
Oh, okay.
It's the charming grin, as I mentioned. That's why the audio worked. It's that.
It's got to be. It's just white teeth. Just.
So what's in the glass?
What's in the glass, man? What do you got? What are you drinking?
Right.
I haven't cracked one yet, but I've got a fun little lager called Nice Fella from Mountains Walking out of Bozeman, Montana. My buddy just took a trip out there. So
what a great places.
Mountains Walking it's right up the street from Bozeman Brewing Company. I'm blown away. That's amazing.
Well, look at me. Look at me impressing you.
Yes, and look at you reminding me I need to get back to Montana. Damn.
So yeah, nice little Italian Pilsner here.
Yes.
I haven't. It's not super beer clean glass, so I don't want to lose all my street cred. But
yeah, Cary's got street cred to live up to. We don't have anything, Doug. We do this all the time.
That's right.
We're like, hey, dirty glass. What else is new? For us.
So how was that? What's going on
there? It's fairly clean. I did an okay job. I wanted to be a professional for you guys.
Mountains Walking, I believe, right?
That's a great name.
That's correct.
Yeah, it's a small little brew pub there, but they have fantastic food. And it's kind of higher end, and their beer is just all really fucking fantastic. That's a great brewery.
That's a tasty ass beer too. That is clean.
Yeah,
is it so Italian Pilsner versus German Pilsner? So difference. I'm not all that familiar with the Italian Pilsner. I know that's been something I've been hearing more about, but what's the difference?
So I don't have a ton of experience with Italian Pilsners. It seems to be an emerging style, but from what I understand is they're a little bit drier, a little bit more crisp. A lot more of that residual sugar ends up fermenting out, so it just ends up being this just like really refreshing, bright, crispy lager, which I love. And it's clean. It's like super clean. So that's my jam.
That's would be more my speed. Where Greg, I think you're more towards the hoppier end of the Pilsner styles.
Give me them all, but yes. I'm headed to Bozeman. I'm completely jealous.
Same.
It's a fantastic, great, wonderful, small city with so much to offer. I can't say enough about that place. And yeah, actually, Brock, hit me up on the side. I got a couple contacts out there I can hit you with. You gotta get to Matt Brewing. Oof.
Matt's the one you were talking really big about. Yeah.
Yeah, the chicken sandwich, Brock. And also when you walk out on the patio, it's just a skyline it's this big sky. Big mountains, big sky. I mean, man, you guys got me on Montana hard.
Thanks, Cary. Now it's a Montana show.
I didn't do that on purpose. I promise my next 2 beers aren't as interesting. Actually, they might be as interesting, but they're not as far away.
So Cary, let's get into it, man. Last time we talked to you, or the last time we talked to you specifically. we got other ends in that house, man. I don't know if you know that, but
I know. We got a nice little thing going. I know Rebecca talks to Doug all the time too. Like it's just we're all gonna have to hang out once you can fly into Wisconsin, Doug.
Yeah, I'm fully vaccinated, and so is my wife. And we side tangent, we just booked a trip to go to Iceland because if you're fully vaccinated, you don't have to quarantine there.
What? That's awesome.
That's our 10-year anniversary. So.
Meanwhile, Australia was saying that they're not opening borders until 2022. So, it's just crazy where we are in the world. We can get into that a little bit later. But, Cary, last time we talked to you, you were working at one of my favorite Milwaukee breweries. Fantastic place. I know you liked working there. But, obviously, you have a passion for something else, which Doug and I completely love. So when we heard this, we were like, man, can't wait. So you're in the coffee thing now. So you want to tell us a little bit about your transition? And
yeah, sure. Yeah, no, it was kind of a unexpected jump, I'd say. I don't think a lot of people could see me outside of the beer world, and I understand that. I was in it for 7 years professionally and a fan of it for many years beforehand. So I guess over COVID and all this situation, I just was kind of doing some deeper soul searching, and beer and craft beer just wasn't quite aligning with where I wanted my life to go, at least career-wise anymore. So, man, back in like August, September, I got a friend who works at Wonder State Coffee that I work at now. And we were chatting, and they were working on expanding their sales division. And I kind of consulted with them and worked on, helping them out with how they were going to create their sales team. So we had really good conversations, and then got to learn about them, their story, how they source coffee, which I know we had a little sidebar about, and just fell in love with the people. And for the last 3 or 4 years, I've really grown fond of coffee and just trying to expand my palate in general. Like I got more into bourbons, more into wine, more into tequila. I know you like tequila too, Greg. Yeah, Steve, look at you, buddy. Oh, what? I don't have a bottle next to me. Crap.
Yeah, I was going to surprise Greg with that because he's been rocking the tequila, so I brought some mezcal this time.
Right. We're gonna have a segment. This tequila time, Doug. I don't know if you know that. It's coming.
Yeah, but
tequila time. Anyway, Cary, keep going.
Yeah. So, over the last 3 years, I've been trying to expand my palate and just, get a better sense of everything. I love food more than pretty much anything in the world, and I know we'll probably talk about that later. But just expanding my palate, and I really found a lot of similarities to coffee in just general. There's a lot of overlap between coffee and craft beer, especially specialty coffee and craft beer. And the Brewers Association chief economist Bart Watson, for every time I've gone to the CBC, Craft Brewers Conference, GABF, whenever he talks, he's always referenced the coffee industry in relation to the beer industry. So it really started to jog my mind down that path. And there was just an awesome opportunity to join Wonder State. And since I essentially wrote the job description, they were pretty interested in me. And turned out to be an awesome opportunity. So I jumped at it, and I've been with them for about 2 months now, and it's been great. It's been a really fun ride, and I've got so much to learn, and I'm really excited to learn it.
Yeah, you sound like how old are you, Cary?
34.
Yeah, man. Like you sound like you're really happy about, like, you know, some people have a hard time transitioning. But since the industries are kind of really close, like you say, there's been, especially before the pandemic, well, obviously before the pandemic, before when we were going around, there was a lot of brewery places. Let me put myself up in a bigger thing. There's a lot of breweries.
You're talking.
There was a lot of breweries aligning themselves with not only aligning themselves with coffee, having a coffee place. We're going to have Venture Brewing Company on, and I know. So I see the thumbs up. So you know about it. We're going to have them on a couple of weeks here, Doug. Point is, they're a coffee beer house, and when we had them on Badger Beer Hour, they were talking about how the coffee has really propelled them through this. The beers helped, don't get them wrong, but the coffee in the morning and people coming in. So coffee is just, and it's kind of the same as beer, right? Like where it's just an amazing range of flavors and all that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so cool. Just, you know, I think about the hop world and like the sourcing of hops, and sourcing of coffee is similar, and the sourcing of ingredients and the supply chain. And there's just such a wide variety of genetics and different histories and microclimates, and it's a huge world. Just like when you first jump into beer and you start to learn, you realize you don't know anything. Like there's so much to learn, and there's so many avenues. And with coffee, it's the same way. You start to learn a little bit, and you're like, oh wow, this I could learn about roasting, I could learn about sourcing, I could learn about sale, barista, milk. Like there's endless possibilities. So it's a super engaging field. There's so many directions you can learn. Equipment, tech, like it's endless. There's never nothing you're not gonna know. Not be able to learn.
Kind of like beer.
Yeah, totally.
But the thing that so I have a routine in the morning where when I get up, I let the freaking dopey dog out, and then I come in and I make coffee for my wife and I every morning. And I do a very straightforward process. I have a small burr grinder and French press, and I don't do anything fancy. But like when you're talking about very different, when I started talking to other people who are really into coffee and know, like we can get this kind of grinder. That grinder grinds the beans better. You only have 15 minutes when it grinds it, so you lose all the aromas. And I'm like, I just want a really good cup of coffee. So like, yeah. And then there's the pour over method, and like I haven't done any of that. Yeah. So what is your preferred, if you're going to make your own cup of coffee to the specs you want, what is what you make?
What I want is caffeine in me quickly and easily, because I don't function well in the morning. So I do French press because it's easy. And I know it's going to get caffeine into my bloodstream, and it's going to be delicious, and it's going to be the same every time I make it because I measure everything out. So I just rock French press right away in the morning. I don't have time to mess around with a pour over or anything like that. I just need caffeine, and I need it to be reliable, and I need to be able to function. So I'm an easy man. I don't futz around with all the fancy stuff. I just want caffeine and to taste that cup quick.
Rock, I'm the same way. It's like I'll make a cup. My wife and I will basically do what most couples do now. We go into bed, we have coffee, and we scroll on our phones next to each other, and then we get up, and then then I make more coffee, and we get to work because we both work from home. So it's usually
wait. You drink coffee in your bed?
Yeah, dude, it's the best.
I learned. Look at this. All the stuff I learned from Doug, I learned on the stream. These are facts.
That is not true. We have one fact that we have debated on the show repeatedly that you learned at my house.
This is true. This is true. That's why
the top sheet debate started when you were here. So
that's why I need to come back soon. We need to start another debate. But so wow. So you get okay. So you drink coffee in your bed. I'm still
just like I sit up, I prop myself up, I watch mindless nonsense on my phone for a few minutes and have my coffee, and then I come down.
Coffee in bed, right?
Coffee
So
in bed.
someone else is still amazed.
Oh,
Someone else is.
That's Kelly.
Someone, she's amazed like me, right? Come on, Greg. He drinks beer in the shower, coffee in the bed.
Yes.
Wait, is that a faux pas? Are you not supposed to drink beer in the shower?
No. Is it? Well,
Wow.
there's a complicated, not really complicated, but a little slightly. I am a big shower beer fan, especially like if I went out and I worked in the yard and I'm sweaty as hell. I'll take a cold beer and a hot shower. There's a nice juxtaposition there.
Feels
Greg,
great.
Greg's like, I don't really know. So he tried it and he took one in, but he took one in a bottle.
Oh.
No, it was a glass. It was a glass.
It was a glass. Sorry. Yeah, I apologize. I stand corrected. And people lost their minds because they were like, hey, man, just be careful. And he's like, I'm having a beer in the shower. And it kind of went a little haywire. So it's been a weird bone of contention in our relationship.
Right. And I've swore it off since. How about that, Cary? But it's not Doug's fault. Like, well, I just had a beer and I just like, I'm going to try the shower beer, put it in there. And then, something happened. And then I got turned off on it. And wow, it's never happened. But it's never happened again. Will it happen again?
Are you a shower beer guy then, Cary?
Well,
oh, yeah.
So there's
nothing better after a day of hard yard work in the summer than going into the shower and just blasting all that dirt off and drinking a beer at the same time. It's the best feeling.
Mm-hmm. So will this work? This is one of those plastic ones. Will this pass the shower?
Greg, what you could do is if you have a shower caddy thing, put it in the freaking shower caddy.
But Doug, you're not the shower beer police I'm talking to.
Okay. I apologize.
There are no rules, man. Whatever floats your boat.
Oh no. According to the group,
except for glass. Yeah, you don't want glass in the.
Right. Okay. So then, would this be good, Doug? If I tried this, or would I still get slammed for that?
Well, no, it's plastic because if it fell, it wouldn't break. So
it's true.
Looks like glass, though.
It's got a good grip too. Like if you got sudsy hands, I think you got enough that you can like hold on to it without worrying about it slipping out.
Man, I've been to so many beer fests and I haven't dropped a glass ever. Y'all need to leave me the hell alone in my shower with my damn beer and a glass. Thank you. Anyway,
but at the beer fest, Greg, are you getting soaked in water?
No, but I'm not like this dude.
You're so close.
Crowd is losing steam.
So
I think it was my cousin.
Yeah,
really?
He was using his thing to like give him balance. I've never seen that before. He's like, "All right, I'm ready now."
Just hold his body up by himself.
So, Cary,
I'm good.
You've been to 101 beer fests,
at least,
right? Can you tell us about some of the crazy shit, or maybe one of the craziest things you've seen, or something that would just right? Anything that comes off. Like,
yes, I've got one that stands out in my mind.
Okay.
I've got one that stands out in my mind.
Yeah, okay.
It was either my first or second Dells on Tap ever. I think it was my very first Dells on Tap. So if you're not familiar with Dells on Tap, Wisconsin Dells, they hold a beer fest at the end of the year. It's typically in October. It ends up being the last like Wisconsin beer fest outdoors at least. So typically all the reps from the breweries actually show up. They don't just get volunteers. They actually show up in full force in the Wisconsin Dells, which is just a bananas weird place. Roller coasters and giant Trojan horses in the middle of down. It's
indoor water parks.
Yeah.
It's like the shore. It's like the shore. I really think it's like the shore without the beach.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it's sandwiched in between beautiful geological structures.
Lakes and
full of kitschy shit. Like, it's just so it's a weird juxtaposition. So anyway, Wisconsin Dells. End of the year, it's the last beer fest, last hurrah. It always rains. Every damn year it rains, and it's soaking wet, and it's packed under this giant tent. Everybody's miserable, except they're not miserable because they're having a lot of fun because they're hammered, but like they don't want to go outside. So everybody's in there, and it's tight, and it's cramped, and it's sweaty, and it's warm because everybody's bundled up because it's cold outside, and then they bring all that body heat in, and it's a weird environment. So my very first beer fest, I'm working alone. I'm 100% solo at my very first Dells on Tap, which working a beer fest alone sucks. It's the worst thing in the world. I will not miss that ever. So I'm standing there, and all of a sudden these two guys right in front of my booth that are standing in this giant puddle of water start going at each other, just jabbing at each other like, hey, you cut in line. No, you cut in line. I'm just trying to avoid the puddle, blah, blah, blah. Shoving happens. A little bit of shoving the other way. All of a sudden, two guys come tumbling into my table, my giant jockey box with a giant jockey box cover, push the whole table over into me with the jockey box, and there's got to be like a field rep spidey sense that just goes off. All of a sudden, I'm there ready to just get crumpled by a jockey box, and four other beer reps come out of nowhere and just grab the table, the jockey box, me, and just keep me upright, and two more beer reps go to the other side and rip these guys off the table, and they proceed to roll around in that wet ground fighting each other. But four people that are brewery reps just saved me and all of my beer, and that was my first Dells on Tap, and I went back every year after. I don't know why.
Glutton for punishment, for real.
Right? Oh, it couldn't be that bad next year.
Right.
So thankfully, I love the other reps around me always, and I'm always grateful for them.
Right. You look at that community.
Beautiful.
That's our boy Joel talking there.
So, Doug, do you have a follow-up?
I don't know how you follow that up. I will give you one that I did at a beer festival that was completely dumb. Being a dad, I, for the longest time, hated wasting anything ever. So a beer festival is not the spot to do that.
No.
So,
Doug.
We're at Omegang's Beer Festival. I get back after the tastings, and I am completely obliterated. I barely remember getting back to the site. Like, it's because it's camping. I get to the thing, and I trip and fall and hit a folding chair. And my wife is like, get in the tent, sleep it off, because you can't do anything. And she was totally right. And I woke up, and I swear to you, my side hurt so bad, and I didn't know what I did. I must have broke like 3 ribs.
Oh, no.
I mean, for weeks, I was like, I couldn't breathe really deep because I fell on a folding chair. And I was like, after that, I was like, I'm going to be much smarter about this after the fact. So I never did that again at a beer festival. But
man.
Like, I was like, I remember, and Jill was like, well, you dumbass, you did that to yourself.
Right.
She wasn't mean. She was not that, but she was just like, well, you shouldn't have.
No, she should have gave you some.
If you don't like something, toss it. Even if stuff I didn't like, I was like, I can't waste this, and
you deserve that shit.
And I did, for real. So yeah.
Oh man, there is definitely a learning curve on Beer Fest, and you can always tell when you're serving somebody at their first Beer Fest because that's what happens. They slam everything, and you see them go down the line, just shot. And you're like, you're not gonna feel good. You might break a rib or 3.
I don't know how. And the thing is, like, if you have broken ribs, you go to, what are they going to tell you? Hey, don't move. Like, you can't like put a cast on your side or anything like that. So it's like,
all right. So it's time for our second.
Yeah.
Tonight I'm having a crazy night, Doug. So one of the things that Cary, that Doug and I are working through is that everybody believes that we are a beer show. We started off being a beer show, but really more we like to be more seen as a variety show at this point. where we have a variety of different guests, and you being one of them now, like a coffee person. It's wonderful. We'll get back to that in a second. But I'm gonna start. I told Doug I'm gonna start mixing up what I drink here. So one of our good friends to the show has been on there here, what, 2 or 3 times, Doug?
2
Matt
times.
Strain.
Yep.
Matt Strain. Yeah. Sexual Chocolate Imperial Stout, non-alcoholic. Cary, you ever have any of these?
I haven't had that.
Yeah, this is who's this from, Doug?
I don't remember. I just remember being totally jealous of that. It's right there in the bottom in the circle there, I think, isn't it?
Oh, Foothills.
Foothills. Okay.
But our friend Matt Strain is a brand ambassador for who now?
Athletic Brewing.
Athletic.
Okay. I've had a bunch of Athletic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So where are you at, real quick? But actually, let me describe this one before. But I want to know where you're at right after this. With the NA beers, and yes, absolutely NA, Joel. Yeah. That's a redesigned can. Oh, really, Jerry? Okay.
Yeah. That's right. Jeff Tepper remarked that there's an actual sexual chocolate beer that has alcohol. So I wonder why.
Yeah, it's not. Oh, is this one?
Maybe
this
the boozy one.
He gave me the boozy one.
Maybe he got it by accident and sent to you because he can't drink it.
Oh, I don't know. Matt Strain sends you beer. You just assume it's non-alcoholic. You move on with your life. Okay. Well, then that kind of changes things, actually.
Not in a bad way. Just change up.
I love. No. It's no one said bad at all. Like, don't. Woo. This is fantastic, though. This is a fucking fantastic beer. And I was going to comment on how I got an alcohol taste on it. Wonder why. But head retention's fucking good. But anywho, nice chocolate base. This reminds me of one of yours, Doug. One of your Southern Tiers.
Yeah, the Southern Tier makes good chocolate beers, man.
Yes, they do. Absolutely. Those big diabetes stouts. So
yeah.
Cary, what's going on with your experiences with non-alcoholic beer?
They are pretty hit or miss. I know that when I was working at Third Space, the brewmaster Kevin Wright, who is an award-winning brewmaster, amazing brewmaster, one of the most intelligent guys I've ever met. One of his big priorities or like wish projects was making an NA beer, but the challenges with making a really good NA beer is it's expensive. And the market for a premium NA is just not quite there yet. Athletic's making a good inroad, and they're kind of helping the awareness of it, which is great. And their price point is a lot more approachable. But for a small craft brewery to make an NA beer correctly, it's expensive and it's not easy to do it right. So the ones that are done well, I really enjoy. I think Athletic does a great job, especially some of their like more hop forward beers. That like West Coast IPA was delicious. But it's an emerging segment, like something like 60% of newly 21-year-olds report that they don't drink. So this segment is exploding right now, and there's definitely a need to be filled. And if breweries like Athletic can do it right and keep the price point competitive, I think there's going to be a big segment to attack in the future with that. But it's tough to ask somebody to spend $12.99 on a non-alcoholic beer if they never really liked beer. So that's why there's all these other things out there, like the kombuchas of the world, like the coffee lattes that are canned now. There's all kinds of new avenues that people can drink non-alcoholic stuff. So
yep. So making sure here, sexual chocolate has alcohol. Jade, she loves sexual chocolate. Matt sent that as a gift. Yes, he did. Yeah, doing the old switcheroo. Yeah, exactly.
Who was the wrestler? Who was the wrestler that was sexual chocolate? Was that Mark Henry?
Yes.
Look at me.
And look at me. I remember that shit.
Thank you.
Apparently,
this is sexual chocolate from the freaking Coming to America. So that's
oh yes.
He wanted to He wanted to share. Yup, yup. So Cary, here's one that you'll relate to. Untitled Art has some amazing non-alcoholic beers. I don't know if you've seen them cranking them out, but they have been.
They crank out a lot of beers. It's you can't even keep up. It's like 20 new ones a week.
Right, and a lot of them are big pastry diabetes, but some of them are barrel aged. It's crazy up there, or crazy near here. I say up there, but it's right down the street, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's right up the street from me.
Yeah,
it's that way.
Yeah, for me, it's like literally right up the street. But no, and Brock is from Ohio, so they really have an imprint. He's not just talking Wisconsin. He's they really. I don't know if there's a big story behind them, and we could spend actually an hour and a half talking just about octopi.
I'd prefer not to.
Right. But man, Untitled Art is they're definitely making their imprint. How about that?
Yeah, absolutely. No, they make a ton of beers, and not just beers. Like their facility, they can make energy drinks, they can make all kinds of shit. So it's just insane.
Brewing an iPad and all that. It's the highest technological brewer around, I believe, probably maybe even in the state.
It's got to be up there.
Because even our big ones, that we love and love, like New Glarus, and I mean, I've been through Ale Asylum. I mean, their shit's pretty damn good. Don't get me wrong; they have really great equipment, but centrifuge and all that shit, but they don't add up to Octopi. So yeah, it's kind of Octopi / Untitled Art. So
it's a whole different animal.
Yeah. So Doug, what's going on?
Are you pointing to me? Sorry, I was reading comments. Okay.
Yes. You
So
have something
beer.
to
I'm gonna
show.
go drink a beer here, if you don't mind.
You have something to show.
Unicorn farts.
Oh, Doug.
Glittered sour ale.
What?
Okay.
Made in conjunction with Diablo Donuts. Duclau's out of Baltimore.
Yes.
So,
And
Pressbury, this is your home. So,
was this? Yes, but now they live in Atlanta. But was this this one pick because of the art, Doug?
no, it was a name.
Okay.
And I'm not really a sour beer fan. So, yeah.
I was wondering why you when you have sours or IPAs, I question the whole motive behind everything.
Well, I will say that my wife really likes sours, so I usually get stuff like that.
Oh, I forgot about you. Right.
Yeah, so dirty glass gang. So sorry about that, but as you can see, lots of bubbles. Can't really see the glitter because I have a shitty glass cleaning thing going here, but it's not super sparkly. At least there's that. It's really not super sour, it's more tart, which is more to my liking. It's got a nice little zing at the end. I think, Greg, that this is I have a couple beers I need to ship you. I think I need to ship you one of these to see what you think of this.
Oh, okay. Brock blames me for his love of sour beers. Well, cheers to that.
Yeah.
Cheers to that. That's a good thing.
Yeah, that's pretty refreshing. I'm surprised that I actually dig that. So
it wasn't too puckery or too sour then.
No, like I said, it's got that tart finish, which I like. I don't like them. Like for me, if you have a sour beer that's sour, and then your stomach is just not quite right after. At least for me, that's the thing. But, Cary, where you stand on sours?
Sours? I enjoy sours if they're well done.
Right.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, I put up this comment right as you were talking, which is I'm not sure even how to respond.
Oh yeah, probably.
Yeah. Sparkly poop.
Is it butt puckery?
No, not that bad.
Why is everybody talking about your butt?
Hey guys, I have to be honest. I have a really fine ass, so.
Okay. And on that note, now it's time for our sponsor, so we can move on.
That would be you.
Harry, you are our sponsor. Actually, I have a sponsor plug after you, but you are a sponsor, so if there's anything you want to talk about, or you may mention that you may want to rant about something, this is your time.
Oh man, there were so many things. I
Right.
don't want, like, I could rant. I could be the jaded dude that left the industry and just talks shit about it.
Please.
No, your fans wouldn't like that.
People who watch the stream like the truth. How about that?
Yep.
I don't think they can handle the truth.
So
I could go on a rant about food. I love
food
competition shows. I don't know
Hey,
if we
man.
want to talk about that later.
Whatever you want to talk about.
Right.
That's
This is your time, and we'll jump off.
Floor is yours.
So, right. Now,
We can talk about Wonder Say Coffee and how you should buy it.
Okay, let's do that.
Yeah.
No, let's be old jaded guy that talks shit about the industry.
Okay. Well, hold on. Wonder State.
I'm kidding. Wonder Say Coffee. Sure. Let's talk about Wonder Say Coffee as the sponsor of this 5 seconds.
You can't handle the truth. Yes, we can, JSG. Yes, we can. Yes, Cary, what's going on with Wonder State?
So Wonder State is the coffee roastery out of Viroqua, Wisconsin that I work for. I've been with it for 2 months, but the roastery has been around for about 15 years now. So we are a small nano roaster, won 2010 Micro Roaster of the Year by Coffee Review, which was a big accomplishment for us. But one of our big central tenets that you're showing right now is the way that we source coffee for the collective good. We've got a set of internal standards that we hold ourselves to, and what that leads to is us paying farmers more. 5 years ago or so, we decided to try to make a difference because fair trade, while it set a great bar to try to reach, it doesn't adjust with inflation. So over time, that discrepancy between paying our farmers what they deserve and that minimum standard by fair trade, it starts to widen, and we're not quite hitting that. So we decided to set an industry-leading price guarantee about 4 or 5 years ago, where we pay farmers. Right now, we're paying about 50 to 60% more than the fair trade minimum, which is outstanding because we source all of our coffee from roasters that are under 125 acres, and 80% of our coffee ends up coming from acreage of less than 12. So we're working with micro lots and small farmers and trying to make an impact on the other side of the world by paying them more. And this is what kind of makes me proud to work for Wonder State, and why I wanted to work for them is because they're trying to have an impact across the world right here in Wisconsin. So it's a pretty cool company. Wonderstate.com is where you can find all our other sourcing information. And it's great local roaster, awesome quality coffee. And fair trade is a low bar, and it does not change. So every year we adjust our price according to our standards and make sure that we're paying our fair share. So you can buy our coffee right on the website. If you're in the Twin Cities, Chicago, Wisconsin, you can get it at retail stores, cafes, and all over the United States, and then some. Blending or selling mostly single origins? We do both. We source single origins. We have a constant rotating menu of single origins from across the world based on seasonality. We really believe in keeping our coffee as fresh as possible. So we source seasonally. You're not going to see a coffee that's way outside of its normal season. And we roast every batch to order. So you're getting super fresh beans and roasted the day that you order it, and then it gets shipped out. So it's really fresh. We have a single origin. We have a great blend program as well. We've got our driftless blend is our most popular. It's just the kind of crowd pleaser. We call it our Snickers bar. It's got some nice chocolatey, nougaty notes and just nice roast level. But we got some people that are just super talented, and we source single origins, blends, and it's a fun time. Well, Greg, I can't hear you.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Doug. Okay.
So I could talk a lot about questions for coffee roasting, but I don't want to get too far in the weeds so we don't talk about other stuff. Because fair trade, when I read fair trade as someone who knows very little about the coffee industry, I'm like, oh, that's seems like a good thing. Seems like they're trying to make it so that these farmers in areas that are really small, that are, don't make a lot of money, or they're, economically depressed. I'm like, oh, well, at least I'm getting something that maybe they're helping them. And what you're telling me is maybe that's not quite enough.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's been, it's a standard that needed to be set, because unfortunately, coffee, as we know it, when most people first saw it, there's a lot of exploitative practices, and these are giant conglomerates coming in and like buying just huge lots and not paying what it's worth and what it takes. And we noticed that gap of what it takes for these farmers to actually, the cost of growing these beans and to go and hand pick every single bean off a plant, not just use giant machinery, is so labor intensive. And the fact that they're not getting paid well for it was very troubling. We wanted to make an impact on these communities, and we go above and beyond. 10% of our profits every year get split up, and we give 5% back to different charity organizations. Recently, we worked with one of our sourcing farms. Because we have these awesome relationships with these farms, we can do things that are more impactful. And we asked one set of farmers, we're like, can we donate more to you? And they're like, the money's not going to help us as much as a herd of goats would. And we bought them a herd of goats, dairy goats, so they could be self-sustaining, use these animals as tools and get things around. So we invested in goats for one of our farmer partners because we have those relationships, and we're working with 24 other independent roasters. We came together to form Co-op Coffees to set this standard, and 24 roasteries around the country are together in this. We have significant buying power, but can work on a very intimate basis and have a greater impact on these communities across the world. So that's just really exciting, and to be able to have that is kind of unheard of.
Yeah, and it makes sense because not every farm, depending on where it is going to need to have the same needs. And
exactly,
you might say, well, I can throw all this money at you, but maybe that's not, like you said, I could use the money, but like at the same time, I need X, and it's not easy for me to get, or whatever the case may be. So having those sort of one-on-one relationships with these small farms and being able to have and meet them where their needs are. I mean, that's a lot better than just winging money at them, I think, maybe. So I think that's pretty great.
Yeah, and there's so many times that people have really great intentions and they want to give back to those farmers, but the money gets caught up in, well, X amount has to go to this person and X has to go to that, and by the time it ends up getting there, it has almost no impact. So to be able to go directly to the source and just work with them, cut out the 7 middlemen, it just makes it a lot more impactful.
Question for you.
Answer. Would you really say that certain prices in the coffee industry are more exploited than beer? Yeah. In a way, yeah.
Wow.
Jerry trying to stir the fucking pot down.
Any more? Right. All right. So
that's a tough question because, yes.
Sign up for our Patreon, and you can be in post-production where Cary
you get all the tea.
Right. Cary's going to download in post-production. I can almost feel it. But
so what do you have for your second one, dude?
Yes.
I keep it's not mirrored.
I still
when I'm on a Zoom call, I get so bad at this. So this is Big Grove Brewery out of Iowa.
Okay.
These guys were originally out of Solon, Iowa. This is called a premium beer.
Wow, fancy.
That's the style. Premium beer.
So it sounds like a lager.
Iowa City is where it's brewed. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's a premium beer. It's a classic, easy drinking beer. They don't even say.
This is a champagne of beers.
Sounds like a lager, right?
I mean, if it's a premium beer, I'm not putting it in the glass. I got to drink it out of a can, right?
Yeah, I think that's
right.
Wow. It would be inappropriate. This is appropriate glassware.
Wow.
For a premium beer. You remember the movies in the 90s and actually probably 2000s yet, and they would just go up to the bar and be like, I'll have a beer. I think this is what that is.
So
give me a beer, make it quick.
I'll take
Sounds like
two of
a
your finest
lawnmower.
beers, please.
Right. Sounds like a lawnmower beer. Me too.
It is a lawnmower beer. I could drink this all day and like watch soccer or football or baseball or what. It doesn't matter. I could watch the paint dry. This is that kind of beer.
All right. We've never done this before. Have two sponsors, but I don't. And I believe that Cary, you're done ranting for the moment.
Am I ready?
No, you're done ranting for the moment.
Oh yeah.
I want to give a shout out to my boy, at the First Sip Brew Box. My boy Dennis and his wife. They're fantastic. They sent me a little bit of a care package here because with a koozie and some stickers. I got a whole bunch of stuff here, but I'm not gonna belabor the point. But I just wanted to say, just a shout out to them. They are fantastic, wonderful. Let me share their website. They are Black owned. They are woman owned. They are military owned. They're all that good shit. They check out all those woke boxes. If you care about that shit, which you should obviously. But First Sip Brew Box, firstsipbrewbox.com. They will be on our stream here in October, hopefully. They will be it will be both of them. So I can't wait. This will be after Cary and his wife's appearance on their anniversary in September, which is going to be fantastic. And I don't know, maybe we can make that maybe I can make it over there and we can make that a remote.
Ooh.
Yeah. We got to do something. Listen, man, we got Doug and I real quick, not to vague book you guys, but we're working on some more streams and we're working on more content for you guys. We're going to have we got a special Wednesday edition coming up. I don't know if we're not going to say anything yet.
Nah, don't announce that because
right. But my point is that we got some things coming up that are going to be different than normal, different than this normal boring shit that we put on for you on Fridays. So, well, again,
Thanks for hyping us, Greg.
Well, if not for our guests, I mean, what the hell, Doug? I mean, it's just us sitting around drinking beer. So
I like doing that.
Right, but I don't know if people like watching me drink beer. So speaking of that, I'm still in the sexual chocolate. That's fantastic. But soon we're going to hit soon we got to talk about this. But first, Doug and I have been going back and forth about people's behavior, Cary, during the pandemic. And since you're not, again, even if you were, say you were still a beer guy, you would be interacting in tap rooms and all these things. And I just believe people's behavior has gotten worse. And the FCC, Doug, I don't know if you know, has verified that incidents in airports and in airplanes is up 40% of knuckleheads. People not wearing masks, people fighting, we've documented a little bit on this on TV. I just think people are getting bolder. And this lady shows it. Watch.
You know that you're on the wrong side.
Get out of my car.
Like, first of all, before we even get there, she walks up and just grabs the door and opens it. Like before
hell no.
anything. Like what? Like, this is where we're at? Like,
that lady is not getting that close in my car. I'm telling you that right now.
Gosh,
I'd open the door to
No, I'm just holding the door
Get out of my car.
You're on the wrong side of the road.
Okay, you're being filmed.
Do you know that you're on the wrong? Do you fucking think you're on the wrong side of the road? You're on the wrong side of the road. This is not Europe. You drive on the right side.
Get out of my face, please.
The cops are coming.
Great, get out of my face.
You're on the wrong side of the road. Do you know that you're on the wrong side of the road? Do you know that you're on the wrong side of the road?
Please back away from
Why
my car.
are you on this side of the road?
Can you please back away from my car?
Why are you on this side of the road?
I was backing
You're going to get a ticket.
Okay,
You're driving on the wrong
great.
side
I
of
was
the road.
backing out of this space.
You're on the wrong side of the road.
How do you
You're
want
on the wrong side of the road.
Okay.
what?
You cannot drive on this side of the road.
Okay.
It's a parking
Why
lot.
are you laughing?
Don't touch my
Why are you laughing?
Lock your shit after that. Fuck that.
Look, she just, again,
You know that you're
really?
It's a parking lot. Like,
Really though.
just chill out.
All right,
Just wait a
so
second. He's clearly going somewhere. He's
Really
not going to be
though.
there forever.
my question would be, what state are they in? Because if you do that in something place like Texas, you're taking your life into your own hands there. Like down there, they carry guns every freaking place. You open the doors, you be like to see a shotgun sticking in your nose. So yeah,
He's the fucking traffic police.
JHG, what police officer is going to go into the parking lot and be like, yeah, you're on the wrong side.
Right.
She's right. You're getting a ticket.
Yeah,
Like,
great.
it's a parking lot.
Yeah, it's parking lot, Cary. Right. What? Like, so, like, I thought the pandemic taught us to keep our space. I think people are respecting space less. Like,
The ones that are
Again.
still out there.
again, what the hell? I just don't believe she just walks up and just rips this door open.
You know that you're on the wrong side.
Like,
And she really wanted to get into Target and get some knickknacks.
I love how she really went out of, like, the dude. No, like, the parking lot is so crazy. Sometimes you do end up like not on the right side because of the way you pull out or the way people are pulling in. Like, right? Like, I don't even. So then I'm scared of this too.
great.
Okay, look. So that's Greece. That's not America. That was Greece. Okay. But my point is that it's not just happening here, Doug. It's everywhere. Like, I think I think people need to be really careful about going out after this pandemic. I'm telling you, people are still on edge. We still haven't, like, there's this feeling that A, it's over and all this, but like, it's A, not over, but B, where it's really not over is the impact, not only the emotional, but the financial impact that people are still going through. Now, again, a lot of, if you didn't go through, any financial stress during this, you're not going to have it now. We got it. Okay. But if you're going through financial stress during the whole pandemic, you're still there. And I just don't think people can relate. Like, Americans can't relate to anything until it happens to you. So, like, everybody hates gay people until you got a gay sister, and you're like, shit, oh my God, like, why can't people, like, you know what I mean? So, like, I don't think people can, if you have not been financially strapped, you can't feel what people feel who are financially strapped. And so thus we have this area where people are really, really frustrated who are financially strapped. And then you have people who are like, yeah, some things happened to me, but like, you know what I mean? Doug, you have something, or Cary, you have something?
I mean, at the end of the day, there's just not enough empathy in this world. It's putting yourself in somebody else's shoes, and that, like, thinking about others. There's so much selfishness and greed, and it's just, that's the problem. Like, if you think, like you just said, Greg, like, you don't care about gays until you have a gay sister, like, because you can relate now. And it shouldn't take having that experience to be able to at least empathize with somebody. So if there was just more empathy in the world and a little bit less selfishness, I think it'd be a lot better place.
And less
You're
of
on
this
the wrong
shit.
side of the road.
Okay.
Shut up.
Like, just be patient with it. Like,
I just want to
wait
tell
30
her to shut up.
seconds, Trudy. You'll get your picture frame from Target and your pretzels. Like, chill out.
I just wanted to tell her to shut up. Anyway, go.
Shut up.
Maybe she's mad because she went into Target and spent more than she wanted to, because that's what happens every fucking time you go.
Every time.
Right.
One pair of jeans turns into 73 different purchases. It's
Amen, Cary. And I believe it's about the point about empathy. And
Yep.
Lauren definitely agrees.
It is a weird thing to see. I don't want to go too far in a tangent, but the folks that seem to have the least amount of empathy are the people who seem to are Bible folks.
Which, like, so many of the central tenets are like
Your central tenets is
Right.
empathy.
Love your enemy.
Oh, man, do unto
Love.
others. And it seems like those
Understanding.
folks are the folks that are not at all doing any of that.
Right. understanding, especially empathy of people that you can't relate to, which is what I'm talking about. And yeah, so JSG says, I'm sure this shit was going on without cameras in our phones. Absolutely, but I'm still going to debate that the rate of the shit is happening is more. And again, I'm going to go back to the FCC, who documented evidence that there are more assholes on planes than there were before. So if they were assholes before they got on the plane, guess what, folks? They're assholes before. I mean, they're assholes when they got on the plane or when they got to the airport. They're assholes before, and they're assholes after they get off the fucking plane. So they're causing problems everywhere. I just got documented evidence for the airports. Cheers.
Was that a technical term? Did the FCC put assholes as like a statistical?
No,
that would be great.
That was, right, but it was like anti-mask individuals and people, yeah. Right.
Yeah. Again, that could go another hour just on that nonsense. So yeah, Chris. Oh, Jerry. I love that
guy. Yes, Jerry's scheduled too here somewhere, right?
Yeah, we got a full plate, man. It's so Jerry, are you done with your second?
Dude, premium beer goes down quick. I'm not gonna lie.
Greg, where do you find these videos of crazy people? Specifically, Jerry, Reddit. What is it? Public Freakout is the subreddit. That's where I go every week to find them. Sometimes I get off them a little bit, and mostly, yeah, you can find them there. They're there every day. They upload every day. It's just craziness. I can't even put Jerry. I've already I not asked Doug, but I've talked to Doug. I told him that one day I want to start just a stream of just me showing these videos and just commenting on them. Like, it could be the Tosh 2.0, like the Tosh 2.0, whatever. What did you say, Doug?
I have a better idea for that.
Okay.
All right. Those videos, MXC style. Do you remember Most Extreme Elimination Challenge?
Oh, yeah.
Where the guys, it was like they would dub over their own dialogue.
Yes. Oh, my God. That was like the best show ever. What happened to it? Where'd it go? It's due for a reboot.
I stumbled into that one night, like years ago, and my friend Floyd and I would. Now, this is how old we are. We would watch it and be on the phone because this is before texting, and we would just be fucking laughing so goddamn hard at that show. And we would have to rewatch it because we're like, I missed half of what was going on. I was laughing so hard. Greg, have you ever seen MXC?
Oh my God, Greg, that would have so been your jam. We got to find it. It's got to be on YouTube somewhere.
You know where it's on? All the seasons are on Amazon Prime.
Oh, that's a hot tip, Doug. Okay. Thank you.
You have to pay for them, but they're on Amazon Prime, so you can actually. And I'm going to tell you, Greg, if you just want to bust your gut laughing,
yes,
it's the fucking best.
It's the best. It's the
best.
All
right. Okay. Well, look at that. So, Cary, do you have another one, or we don't? Or
come on, you think I'd show up unprepared? Of course, I got another one.
Of course.
Drinking a little bit. Reunion Brewery, also out of Iowa. If you can't tell, I was just in Iowa. This is their pound beer.
Look at that
hazy pale ale.
Look at that, Doug. You would buy that in a second.
I would, because I'm a can art nut. So yes. Oh, that is great.
Oh wow.
There's another side.
Damn. Damn, that's a lot of work right there. That is a lot of work.
So Reunion, they're out of Iowa. I think Cedar Rapids, Coralville, somewhere around there.
We don't talk about Doug's personal life really ever unless Doug brings it up. But Doug's wife is, in my opinion, a very creative painter and artist. And I think, Doug, have we ever really talked about, I think that's part of the link of you and your art, and then, I don't know, the wife's art, and you have an artful eye, or what's going on?
My wife has a great eye for art and design and stuff like that. I don't. My artistic ability lies in typing, and that's.
But you have an appreciation of it for sure.
Yeah, I do, and we have her art all over our house, and I love it. I love that it's just filled with stuff she's created.
And I've tried to buy multiple pieces, and these are facts. No lie. What's up, Cary?
So what is it? How's that
Look
one?
at this. Look at this thick ass head.
That's what she
Damn.
said.
That's
Right.
a nice. Look at that though. Somebody
That is-
knows how to pour a beer over there. Right.
Just a cicerone, whatever.
Right. Some things you'll never forget.
That's
You
right.
can-
I've only
you-
been out of the industry like 3 months, man.
You can. Well, I know, but you can be all pissy about it, but you're still gonna have some good things.
My palate's better than everybody.
Look at that. Cary's gonna act like I didn't just call him pissy, but that's cool.
I could be. I could be pissed.
I'm not sure. I haven't had enough information. But anywho, what's going on? What's going on with that beer?
This is nice. So they're saying it's got Centennial hops, and I definitely get some of that. But there's like a lemony, grapefruity note to it. It's got a nice it's a little more. Yeah, Iowa idiots out wandering around Iowa.
Right.
There are actually a lot of really nice people. I shouldn't say that.
Yes, there
I
are.
met a lot of awesome people this week in Iowa.
But there
But
are
it's-
some idiots out walking around though.
I mean, every state, right?
But in Iowa, I'm just saying it's true. I'm not.
It's true. I mean, the expression exists for a reason. Same with fibs, right? Man, this is really nice. It's got like a pillowy mouthfeel. They must use some oats in here.
Hello.
Grapefruity, lemon peely,
Yummy.
light, refreshing,
Yummy.
just a little creamy, but not like over the top. It's not like you're drinking a bunch of lactose. You guys know how I feel about lactose in beers.
Oh,
Time and a place. A little bit.
Right.
Except for the one that I texted you guys immediately after I came on the show last time and was like, hey, I was wrong. I found one I liked.
Right.
One.
Right.
One.
So, thick head, some things you'll never forget.
That's right.
That's a fucking That's a fucking killer can art.
It is.
And,
Reunion. Check these guys out. They're a lot of really nice people. I've met their brewers, their sales directors, a buddy of mine, and yeah, Reunion out of Iowa. Good people. Good beer.
Tequila.
Are you just going to shoot it? Are you just going to shoot? Oh, I thought you were going to put it right in your mouth.
Well, so I only did that. She don't ever. So the lady of the house, first of all, never. I don't think she's seen one fucking second of the stream. Even after me telling her a gazillion times, you should watch the stream. There's funny thing going on. Never watch it. So this reference is really for her, but she'll never see it. So I don't know why I'm even doing it. But we have this inside joke in the house where when I do shots, my bartender in me comes out, and I always just measure my shots and I just do one shot. Whereas Miss Lady of the house is heavy-handed. So it's like, this is how she pours, right? So then when she pours half of this bottle on a Sunday after half of this glass on a Sunday afternoon, and I'm over here like this, and she's in bed by 7 o'clock, and I'm up until midnight. I always make fun of her because she's like, why do you always look at me when I pour my tequila? I'm like, because you pour your tequila like it's lemonade, lady.
I think this just means she's a boss. Like,
Right, and I'm over here like, the big guy. I'm over here like, might as well have the pinky up and everything, and she's over there like throwing tequila down like nothing. So she'll never hear this. I'll tell her that I talked about it. This is not the first time I ever said anything, but yeah, Jerry's right though. Shout out to the heavy-handed. So do you guys know? Are you guys like this at home, or do you have a lady like this where like it's just like they're heavy-handed, meaning when they pour, and like okay.
I'm the heavy-handed one.
Okay. Talk
Same.
about the heavy-handed people because I can't. Not that I can't relate, but like that shit will end you up somewhere or where. Yeah.
it can take you where you want to go.
Yeah, depends on your
It's on
evening.
the day, man.
Do you want to be able to wake up the next day and not feel like a boulder hit you in the head? Then maybe
Right.
don't have me pour your drinks.
Manny, my lady drinks out of the bottle. She's hot. Well,
Fucking Manny.
Attaboy.
okay. No one's going to argue. Who's going to argue with that? Who is going to argue with this? The answer is no one. Shotgun, no, man. So, tequila. Cheers.
I'm gonna do third then, since I'm behind.
Yeah, cheers.
McKellar, Game of Thrones 10-year anniversary.
Whoa.
The Iron Anniversary.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so House McKellar. I love the freaking art that they do.
It's not the 10-year anniversary of season 8. I know that.
No, but the debut of the show. Greg, you're gonna laugh at me because this is a DDH IPA, so I'm probably not gonna be a fan of the flavor of it.
Right. Just like you weren't a fan of season 8, and that's why I poked you about it.
I mean, who was? Who was?
Cary, I was gonna say, Cary, you in on this game of
Was anybody a fan of season 8?
the people who wrote it?
I don't think they even were, honestly. They're like, oh, everybody hates this? Ah,
Look at that. It almost looks hazy.
it does look hazy.
Cary, they were fine with that when they did that shit, though. Just saying.
Yeah, they made millions of dollars. I don't think they're complaining.
No,
Did you see they're making a prequel for the Targaryen house?
Yeah, they just
Right.
released some of the first stills the other day. That's incredible.
and
That looks
y'all lost
awesome.
your minds, though. Y'all lost your minds. And by y'all, I mean the fans of the show. Doug,
Do you mean white people, Greg? Just say it.
no. Not for this, but we can, if you want to get into shit. I mean, Doug, get back to disrupting the show. Bye. Go on, Doug.
So, the thing with anything that's double dry hopped, I'm not one that likes a whole bunch of hops jammed in my fucking face.
Right.
So, but this isn't quite as aggressive. So it's actually pretty nice. It's hoppy for sure, but it's not
new?
like not something that just. What's that, Greg?
Is it old?
No, it's
Cool.
It's got some really good head retention, so it's got to be semi-fresh.
born on 3/24/21.
It's pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that.
And McKellar's hard to go wrong with. So
Right. Even with the Game of Thrones thing, which is polarizing still. And this is what I mean by you guys lost your mind. They made, what did they say? The winter's coming again. And like okay, first of all, Cary, just so you know,
Amazing.
Doug was a fan. Watched the show, loved it. I've never seen it. But I was a fan of people liking it, if that made sense. And I also thought it was just a fascinating thing that everybody liked it and all that. So, and I also thought it was very fascinating that like y'all, and what I mean by y'all, I mean people who like to watch the show, completely hated the one season. Now I've watched shows where people hate the finale. The Sopranos
Lost.
is one of them.
fucking lost.
The
Goddamn finale.
Sopranos.
Seinfeld.
I don't know, Seinfeld,
would-
The Sopranos, but I've never seen like backlash that I've seen for this show, like where there was a whole season, where all the fans were like, "Look, motherfuckers, it wasn't just 2 or 3 shows. That whole season could be scrapped." So there were people on Twitter like I was hoping, people were literally hoping that what the announcement was that they're literally redoing the fucking season 8, like literally, and I'm just like, no, it's not. But like the fact that people hold that out as like like that's something that could still happen. It's just like, man, it really shows you what y'all thought about a show that you thought was just completely fantastic up until a point, and then you're like, motherfuckers, this is it. And I've never seen people turn that fast, if that makes sense. Like,
It was quick. You're
especially
right.
on a whole season, not just one show or the ending or the last 2 shows sucked. No, it was a whole. Y'all motherfuckers said the whole season sucked. Y'all need to go back and like, I don't even know.
We need the Snyder cut.
Yeah.
So like, it kind of scares me though to watch. Like, I want to see the show. Don't get me wrong, and I want to see it at one point, but I'm already tainted that season 8 sucks, and I just don't even like. I want to. I'm going to watch the show and I want to watch it, but like my vision of it is already tainted, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But Cary's like, fuck it, that it is what it is, and deal with it.
I mean, yeah. What am I? I can't change it. We're not. The last season, there's the show took so long, and then in the last season they like just finished, and it wasn't fun. It was
Yeah, a lot of people said it wasn't like fitting.
It didn't feel right.
It was not. I am not one that thought that it was an abomination. I wasn't one of those folks. I was like,
there's a lot of them out there.
yeah, there was a lot of them, but like, so I'm also a kind of person who, when I'm reading a book or watching a show or a movie, I don't go into mind of I'm going to nitpick or critique. Just take me on your journey, and I'll figure my shit out afterwards. Drives my wife nuts sometimes, but so the problem is they had no source material. But like when the early seasons, they had books to go through, and then it was like they had nothing to base it on. So it was like, all right, well, we're going to name this thing where all the gold is going across. We're going to name it Loot Train. George R. R. Martin would never name anything that dumb in a million years. Like he, if you read his book,
Loot Train.
They called it a loot train. Dumb.
You know, I think it's dumb.
So George R. R. Martin, one of his many gifts is that he is really good at naming things. Like in his story, everything has. That's not a skill a lot of writers have, but
sure,
he names stuff, and you're just like, "Fuck, that's perfect."
Right.
And naming something
Loot Train is not
fantasy world is like, what did those guys think they were doing?
Yeah. So Lauren, I don't think it's ignorable because they do wrap it all up. It's just they wrap it up too quick. It's they rush the ending. It doesn't feel like they did all the characters justice in telling out the story, but it does wrap it all up. And there are a couple of really exciting moments in it. But so I wouldn't ignore it. Just know that it's not as fulfilling as the previous 7 seasons. And even the 7th season was starting to, it felt a little rushed towards the end too.
Because they were running out of source material then.
Yeah. And then just wrapped it up so quick that the care they took to the storytelling on the front part, it just felt like they didn't do enough justice to the characters at the end to nerd out a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's still worth watching. Just know it's not going to be as fulfilling.
Right. Let's catch up on these things, and we got a final subject to talk about with Cary. So, almost like The Sopranos when it faded mid. Yeah. Anybody Sopranos there?
No, I have never watched one episode of that show.
I've seen one episode, and only 10 minutes of one episode, and it was the last 10 minutes, and it wasn't on purpose. I thought I was starting the whole thing. I saw the last scene, and I'm like, oh, well, I guess I'm never going to watch The Sopranos.
Oh man, you should seriously though. You should watch The Sopranos. It's fucking awesome. Anyway, and for me, I'm really attention deficit guy. Like you have to hold my attention. Like you have to grab it quick. If you don't grab it quick, it's gonna be fleeting. And Sopranos kept me for years. This is a great show. But Daniel. Everybody was upset about the ending. I was one of the people who loved it, and I was laughing at it when it happened. And I told the lady, I was like, this is what's going on. And I was like, people are going to fucking hate this. They're going to lose their goddamn minds. And I was right.
And they did.
And I that's why I loved it, actually. So, because it was just after, it's hard to, as you guys said, it's hard to end a series that is so epic or that people think is really epic. And I don't know, back in the day, Sopranos was epic. It's still epic, in my opinion. But back in the day, it was just really, I don't want to say revolutionary, but it was, it was one of those like, it was like The Godfather in series form. It was just really, really fucking amazing. I loved it. Anyway,
HBO makes so many good shows. It's insane.
They still do.
They still make insanely good shows.
Speaking of HBO, I despise the last 3 seasons of Dexter. I've seen a couple years of Dexter.
Me too.
I like it. I haven't finished it though.
What Manny is saying there is, from what I understand, is pretty accurate. That the last 3 seasons were just a train wreck, which is a bummer because, like Game of Thrones, they'd set everything up so well, and then just kind of went.
So Daniel says this about Game of Thrones: read the books instead.
Oh, the books are excellent, but I'm going to tell you, I'm an avid reader, and those books are dense. They're all this thick. They're all 800-900 pages. They're all just. It's old high fantasy, so it's like the dialogue is really intense, and it's not like if you can read it, you're going to be tired when you're done with it because that's how dense it is.
I don't know how to read, so.
James Tree brings up one of my favorite books that I've read in my life is Misery. Great book. The movie's okay. I got you, James Tree. The movie is not great, but the movie isn't horrible, is it?
No, and Kathy Bates in that movie is
without Kathy Bates, it would be trash. You're right.
Yeah. James Caan is an overrated actor, so
and without Kathy Bates, that movie would be trash for sure. You're right. She made it. Actually, the more I think about it, you're right. Great book though. If anybody wants to, it's nothing like the like JC says, not nothing like the book, but it goes into detail. It's pretty bad actually, the book. One of the things that Cary wanted to talk about, or that kind of interests Cary and Doug real quick, is food shows.
Yes.
Now,
competitions.
Now,
is this another white people thing?
No. Well, it could be because I got two half white and black boys, and they love this shit. So I can blame the white side of them. I don't know. We'll see.
Oh.
We'll see.
You blame the DNA, you motherfucker.
Right.
Just half of it.
Oh, you don't know how many times I'm like, that's not my shit. That has to be hers. So, and then, hey, I take credit for when it's my shit. And again, half the time we got to deal it out. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, they love these shows. They love they started with the kids baking shows and the kids shows, which are fucking totally adorable. And it's funny too, because like, I like those shows because like, how do you hate on a kid? Like somebody's adult, like you see some of these shows and like they're either prickly adults or they're like assholes. Or you're like, oh, I don't like that guy. Or I don't like her. You know what I mean? Like just by the way, but like being the kid sitting around and like, how do you not like kids? Like, how do you say when you're watching the kids baking show, fuck that kid? Like, I hope he loses. You know what I mean? So it's like, it almost is like a forced empathy thing, Cary. You know what I mean? Like, because you're a really bad human being if you cuss and yell at kids. I don't care.
That kid's got to be a really big douchebag, to
swear at it. Right. So, because you know these competitions are like, you know how they go. Like, you can find the people that you like or hate, or just like me and like basketball, NBA. I don't like a team. I just hate a bunch of different teams. So like, I hate fucking Kevin Durant. Anything that Kevin Durant does, fuck him. And fuck everything Kevin Durant is and what he stands for. And he's a whiny, crying little bitch. That's what I think of Kevin Durant. Now, again, if Kevin Durant were a little kid, I couldn't say that or I would be a horrible human being. So that's why I wanted to start this off by the kids shows are cool because, again, like, how do you hate on a kid? But ultimately, though, Cary, you like these competition shows, especially on food. Where do we go? Where you at?
I'm a weirdo, man. I don't know if I'm a weirdo. I'm like addicted to it. It's like my sports, like
it's your sports ball.
It's so interesting to watch these. Like I think of cooking as an art, like an art form. I
agree.
It takes so much creativity, and it's such a pressure cooker. And like for most of these shows, it's like time, so they have like these situations that they have to like perform in, and it's really cool to see these like experts in their field be creative under just this like intensely challenging situation. So like Top Chef is my jam. I don't know if anybody else loves Top Chef that's watching right now, but I'm addicted. Like I've seen every season. I've watched every Last Chance Kitchen. I've deep dove. Last year, I had my own power rankings that I published on Twitter.
Specifically, tell us, what is Top Chef like? Give us a little bit of why is it different than the regular other ones?
So Top Chef is typically around 16-ish chefs that all go out and compete week to week, which I'm sure is filmed in a much more condensed, but they all live together in this house, and then they go out and do a competition. It's called the Quickfire.
Okay.
If you haven't ever seen Top Chef, And then that person either wins something or whatever, and then they do an elimination challenge, and every week the chef goes home. So they go through these different series, and the cool thing about the show is they go across the country, so every season's in a different place. So it also highlights like the local food scene. So this year they are in Portland, Oregon, which they've never been in before. So you get to learn about Portland through these chefs and like all of these ultra locally sourced ingredients, which is super cool. So like this week, for example, on Thursday, which was a great episode, you should definitely watch it. I think it's episode 6. They worked with the local Native American tribes of Portland, Oregon, and used all these local ingredients that are historic and important to the tribe. And they took those ingredients and made them shine and did this cool competition. And that's like the stuff that brings me in, because it's exploring these local restaurants, these local people, local sourcing. It's telling a story about food and how it brings us together. Because I think it's just such, food is the universal language. We all eat food, and every culture has a different set of ingredients that they work with. They have different histories. They have different family recipes. So for me, it's really learning about culture through food, because that's such an approachable medium. And that's why I love food, because you can tell a story and you can share it with somebody, and then they're experiencing the same thing you're experiencing. And that's like that empathy thing that we talked about earlier. If you have a shared experience with somebody, you can have better conversations. And food is such an easy way, just like beer. Like, we're here drinking beers, like, and we're not talking about beer, you know? Like, it brought us together. So, and food is such an approachable, everybody needs it. So that's why I love like food competitions, because it just highlights ingredients, people, cultures, and shared stories. And like, that's, at the end of the day, like, we're all just sharing stories, you know? So that's why I like food competition shows, and I'm addicted to them. And I'm a nerd, and I like write brackets down with numbers and like, you know, keep track of stuff, because I'm just like OCD, and I get obsessed about stuff, and I just fall in love with these people. Like, I've been to restaurants. We go to Chicago for Chef Joe Flam. He won Top Chef a couple of years ago, and we've gone to his restaurant numerous times, because like, I loved his story and like who he was as a person, what came out. So I followed him because I like him. And then we go eat at his restaurant. Then I meet him, and it's like, what? So yeah, I'm a nerd. I'm a nerd.
I have a follow-up question on Top Chef.
Yes.
Who's the biggest dick from that show, and why is it Marcel?
Oh no. I actually like Marcel.
No,
it's
weird. The times I have seen him, he has been such a dickhead.
I know.
Like
he is very like irritating. He should have won his season. He got completely robbed. Elon sucked, and Marcel kicked complete ass. I've seen him in a bunch of different competition shows. You watched Tournament of Champions, right?
Yes, and he's a talented chef. I'm not saying he's
super
not
talented
at cooking. I'm just saying, every time I've seen him, he just has this sort of...
He's got a little arrogance to him.
Oh my God, I can't...
For sure. But everybody hates him so much that I kind of root for him, because I gravitate towards underdogs. And because he got so much hate and vitriol in that second season of Top Chef, and because he just is always... like, everybody hates him. Like, everybody hates him. I root for him a little bit because of how much hate he gets. And it's like that underdog mentality. I'm just like, you know, everybody hates him, but he makes good food, and he's kind of funny sometimes. But yeah, Marcel is he can be an arrogant dick.
Cary was the guy who likes the heels in wrestling, right, Cary?
No.
Okay. I was just making sure.
Not as much. I was a Shawn Michaels guy, the Heartbreak Kid. Like,
every story needs a villain, though. How about that?
That's true. You do. And they played him up as like this arrogant dick, because he kind of was.
Was Elon the guy that the show Knife Fell?
Yes. Gained a lot of weight.
I didn't see the Top Chef season that he was on. I don't really watch that show much. The only reason that I watch it, if I do, is because I like Padma Lakshmi, and I like Tom Colicchio. Man. Tom Colicchio is really fucking great, and he's like super active on Twitter and really progressive.
Super progressive.
I like that. But my shows tend to be. I really dislike the ones that are like. So one of the ones I don't like is Cutthroat Kitchen. I don't like.
It's too
that.
gimmicky, right?
Well, it's also really mean spirited.
Yeah.
And Great British Bake Off ruined me for other cooking shows because that show is.
I knew you were gonna bring that up.
It's sweet. It's fucking. It's like you can. And so I am not a person who like puts stuff on for background at all because I'm partially deaf. So like that stuff distracts me from what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
But I could put that on. It is like balm for the soul.
So I can only do it with Mary in the first season. I can't do the second set of hosts. They lost me. They just don't have the chemistry.
The last one,
This is white
like
shit, man. This is so white. Greg, call us out. This is the whitest shit you've ever listened to, right?
But
just say it. Just say
it. They had the dude, they had the goth guy, but they also had Matt Lucas, who is like, he's just this dopey little round dude. And he's really funny. I get you. Mary Berry is great. And then the two hosts that they had oh shit, I can't remember their names, and they were early on and they were fantastic. And I can't remember what their names were, but they were these two ladies that were really fucking funny and just Sorry, I'm a dork for Great British Bake Off, and I know that makes me a honky, and I'm okay with that.
Well, Lauren's not a honky. She likes it.
Yeah, and it's weirdly endearing. That's the.
I don't believe I just said honky on the stream.
I did.
I got it out of you, buddy.
It's Doug's fault. Jesus. Anyway. Look, everybody's talking about wholesome. Right.
It is. Have you guys watched Making It?
Excuse me?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Have you watched Making It with Nick Offerman and Amy Poehler, the crafting show that's basically British Bake Off?
I've watched a couple of that. That's not bad. There is also a show that is made by the Great British Bake Off folks called The Great Pottery Throwdown.
What?
And it is just like great. It's so soothing. It's weird to watch people do pottery, but it's really relaxing. Yes. I'm telling you, watch it. You will be a convert. I promise.
Have you ever watched Seth Rogen make pottery? Because it's pretty awesome. Follow him on Instagram. He's great.
Most of the time, these people weren't really stoned most of the time, I don't think.
Oh,
you say it like it's a bad thing, Doug.
No, I'm not saying a bad thing at all. I'm just saying it's just funny. And here's the problem with Seth Rogen. It's that freaking laugh. I can't handle that laugh of his. I can't.
Aw.
I think Netflix just posted like a supercut of him just laughing for like 3 minutes, and it's the best thing ever.
Well, it is funny in that you can see he just can't control it.
Right.
That's the good part about it, yeah.
Any food shows you cannot watch, Cary?
Yes.
Any food shows that I cannot watch? I usually give most of them a try, but I do gravitate to the ones that are produced a little better. So, Chop, Top Chef. What else do we watch? Those are all great.
Guys, Grocery Games.
What's that?
Guys Grocery Games.
I love Guys Grocery Games. People shit on Guy Fieri all the time, but Guy Fieri's awesome. I liked him before Shane Torres made me feel bad for liking him.
That guy's a great dude. That guy's a great guy. So
he's amazing. He has raised more money for the restaurant industry than like 3/4 of the states in the union. Like he's
and I like
such
that he
a good
recently
human.
called out Jeff Bezos for not donating any
money. Right? Like Guy is awesome.
Right. I don't know. I think there's there has to be some jealousy with Guy Fieri because, like, think about it. His job is like to literally, especially when they have these diners, drivers, and my kids love that shit. They love Guy Fieri actually. But one of the things is like this dude is like everywhere. He goes to all these places, and like so there has to be some kind of jealousy going on with like, FOMO and people just wanting to be able to travel and just eat shit around America and get paid for it. Like. And
they think he's a gimmick, but this dude, show puts so many eyes on those restaurants, those small independent restaurants. It's
free advertising.
It's like millions of dollars worth of advertising for these small local businesses. Why would you shit on that? Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't understand the hate for Guy because he has spiky hair. I get it, but like, that's it, really. I've seen more strange people that are much more popular.
Yeah, there's a comedian who does a whole skit about why do people
Shane Torres.
Yes, and it's a great skit about Guy Fieri, and it's just awesome. And we can't share it on here because we're going to get fucking flagged for copyright.
Right, that's bullshit.
Shane Torres, he's at Syrup Mountain on Instagram.
What a great name.
He's right.
So Cary, can you see that, right?
Wow. I can see that. That's such a great question, Jerry. I've been lucky. I've worked in the hospitality industry since I was 15, so I've had a lot of restaurant jobs, and I worked for a Japanese restaurant in Appleton, Wisconsin called Nakashima of Japan. And they had just an amazing work ethic, and being a part of that family, the owner and the owner sold the business to his son when I was there, Tim Nakashima, and his father had such a strong work ethic. He would drive to Chicago 3 times a week to source fish because he didn't just want to get whatever he could get from Cisco or whatever. He wanted good fish that he knew where it came from, and he knew it would be sushi grade, and he would feed it to his guests. So he took so much pride in that, and that's what set that place off from everybody else. And it's just that dedication to family and tradition. The lead sushi chef was a 68-year-old man, Hiro, that came from Shimanaka, actually. Hiro was the father that went down to Chicago. But he created this place for other Japanese immigrants to come to and feel like family and to be supported. And he would let him go back to Japan for months at a time to be with his family, paid. Like, that's not heard of in the restaurant industry. They just took such care and pride in what they did. So that experience of the Asian culture that that's the Fox Valley of Wisconsin. It's the whitest fucking place there is. Like, to have that international experience and like those values and experience those and that family and just that was such an experience for me at a really young age. I was like 22, 23. I didn't know shit. But to see that and that pride that they take in, like, you can get sushi in a gas station, but these guys took such pride in what they did and they stood out for a reason. And that culture and those cultural values, to see it in person every day and to eat and breathe it and to see what mattered, that really helped set my path, honestly. There's some really great people, and just I'm forever grateful to be able to just be a dumb bartender that didn't know shit. And to be able to just be part of that family felt amazing. And it's something that I've always wanted to make sure that when I took other jobs after I left the hospitality industry is, I want to go somewhere where I feel like family. So that had a huge impact on me.
I got a question for you. Does anybody else call you Lakefront Cary but me?
I get it every once in a while, but I love it when you call me Lakefront Cary, man. Like, that, we got history. That's old school. You're one of my you're an OG craft beer fan that matters. So yeah, cheers to you, man. You can call me whatever the hell you want, Greg.
All right. Wow. Well, sweet.
Maybe Rebecca called him Lakefront Cary at certain times.
Oh no, she's
Lakefront Cary, get in here and do the dishes.
Yeah. It's like, Lakefront Cary, you had too much to drink.
So I was gonna ask you, is it if there are people does it remind you of when people just identify a role, an actor with a role? Meaning, Luke Skywalker's always Mark Hamill. I don't give a shit what Mark Hamill does after that. Before that, I see the face. I see Luke Skywalker. Sorry, that's it. So if he likes it or hates it, I'm sorry, but you're gonna always be Luke Skywalker to me. Just who's the Star Trek guy? Shatner is always going to be the Star Trek guy. I could care less about your stand-up. What is it? Priceline.com. I really don't give a shit. You're always.
You remember that?
Right. So like, I don't know. Do you like? I think that on some area are always going to be Lakefront Cary, and with all due respect to Third Space, like you worked there so quick, and it was like, especially during like a lot of it was either before the pandemic
A lot
or
of
like
it was
during
COVID.
it. Right. Right. So the fact that like, so that's not even really something that I even associate with you with, and this is my opinion, just so you know. I think Third Space is a better brewer than Lakefront. That's just my opinion. It's not Casey's, not anybody else. If you have a problem with it, you know where you can find me on social media. So that being said, I just wanted to relate that, like, to me, you're on some level, you'll always be Lakefront Cary. Even if you go and do coffee for the rest of your fucking life, it's never going to be Coffee Cary for me. It's just always going to be Lakefront.
No, I respect that and I appreciate that. And I've been lucky. I got to work for two of the best breweries in the state. Like,
Period.
Don't that's not lost on me. Like, legit. Like, and
OG and New G too. I
Totally.
about it. OG, New G.
Absolutely. It's two different animals. And I totally understand where you're coming from, saying that Third Space makes, like, in your opinion, is making better beer right now. And I understand where that opinion comes from, and I appreciate that, because they are making fantastic beer. Like, I don't like to talk about myself a lot, so like it's hard to do. But I am so lucky. Like, I got to work for people who know what they're doing and are extremely good at it and extremely consistent. So those 4 years I spent at Lakefront were so awesome for so much of it. And I love it a lot. Like, I love a lot of the people. I love just being a part of that culture and to represent an OG brewery. Like, the craft beer scene in Wisconsin would not be what it is today without Jim and Russ Klisch. They are two of the best human beings I've ever met in my life. And I love those guys. I texted Russ like a couple months ago, and he texted me back, and we still talk. Like, there's no any of that. Like, he is such, just like, Third Space wouldn't exist and be the brewery it is without Lakefront.
Right.
Legit, because when Third Space started, they reached out to Lakefront. Lakefront gave them yeast. Like, they didn't have to do that. We're competitors. But you know what? That's the kind of guy Russ Klisch is. So for them to set the scene like they have, I have so much respect for Lakefront Brewery and what they've done to make the Wisconsin craft beer scene what it is, and to hold people to a high standard. And that's what I think is lost in craft beer right now, is that standard. It used to be craft beer meant that the reason it was called craft versus the macro breweries is because there was that feeling of, oh, it's handcrafted. There's a guy with a paddle stirring the malt. And it had this like feeling to it. It's this nostalgic thing. And back then it was, oh, we make crafted beers that are super high quality, better than the other like macro breweries that are using rice and corn. And now, that's what we used to differentiate it back in the 90s, 2000s. And now breweries are throwing Twinkies and glitter and kumquats and all this shit in there. Is that really craft? Is that like what differentiates us from Miller and Bud, who make the same product and make it exactly the same, and it tastes the same no matter if you're in New York or Beijing or in South Carolina? Tastes the same. That's quality. And people might not like the flavor, but to be able to replicate that flavor across the world takes a tremendous amount of skill.
Yes, preach.
Now, you can have issues with all the other shit they do in terms of marketing and blocking out the market and SKUs that just bust out. Like, you can have issues with that. But from a technical standpoint, they make it exactly the same. When I buy some rando local brewery and their cans explode on the shelf, is that quality? No, that's not quality. So craft beer kind of lost its meaning. They switched to that independent beer. That's with 10,000 breweries in the country. Not all of them are in it because they love beer and want to make it well. Right. A lot of them just want to make fucking money, and they just chase trends. and they put out crappy products that explode on the shelf, but people buy it because of FOMO. And that's where that shift in the beer world has started to change. And, you know, when we were coming up, 10 years ago, we all had the same frame of reference. Like, we were drinking the same beers because there were only so many of them out there. And we knew which ones were good and we knew which ones were bad. And there weren't a ton of them out there like there are now. So we had this frame of reference to establish quality from 10 years ago, 15 years ago. We knew what was good. We knew what was bad. And now there are so many beers out there, and there are so many people just coming into it that don't have that same frame of reference, that just think these thick, giant, milkshakey, lactose, hype water bullshit is good because people want it. Not because it's good, but because so many other people want it. Why do they want it? Because it's rare. Whales, bro. Like,
the whales.
The quality is just, it's not there because the pool has been diluted so much. There's not that same, like, you're only making it if you're good. You can make it now because you have hype, because you have marketing. It's not always the liquid anymore. And that's where I feel like craft beer is kind of at a crossroads, and they need to figure some shit out because this craft beer scene currently, it's more full than it's ever been, and that's great. And we want as many people in the tent as we possibly can have, because there is still this giant market share that is owned by these giant multi-billion-dollar international conglomerates. There's plenty of room for craft to grow, but if they don't do it right, they're never going to get there. Because when I have a Budweiser, I know what it's going to taste like, and it's not going to fucking explode. That's my rant.
And okay, I don't even know what this. We'll try to follow up. Doug and I aren't even going to try, but we'll let Jerry point out.
Of course, kumquats are craft. You're right. The kumquats are fun.
Right, but maybe the issues that we expect, kind of.
Yeah,
I don't.
Let's hear.
See, food you make at home, there's human error. I'm not trying to sell my food at home to 10,000 or 100,000 or a million people. And quality control is something that needs to be invested in. And there are breweries that are doing it right. There are craft breweries that do it right. You look at the Surleys of the world, the Revolutions of the world. I'm thinking Midwest. Sorry, Doug, not to exclude you, but it's my regional. Bell's. I drink a Bell's Oberon. I know what it's going to taste like every single time. Like, there's craft breweries that do it right. I shouldn't drink the same beer from a brewery and get 7 different experiences. That's not quality control. That's not consistency. That means they're not doing something right.
Truth.
Craft brewing a beer takes so much skill, and if you don't do it right, you can still make a beer. It's just not going to be what you want it to do. And there's a reason back in the day that breweries only released 20 beers a year, because they would R&D those beers for months and months at a time to nail in the recipe so they could get it right, make it shelf stable, and make that experience be the same for every single person that drank that beer. So to have that variance, that doesn't mean you're making beer right, because that's not the intention. Like, it's just not the same as it once was, because there's so many breweries out there that just want to make money.
Boom.
I have a slight deviance from that. I agree with you on a lot of that, but I will also disagree with you on 2 small points, if I may.
Ooh, yes.
So here's the thing. So I live with a woman who certifies organic farms.
Yes.
So the idea of having things taste the same consistently isn't as easy as it seems, unless you have a very monoculture set of ingredients. So, like, if you have Miller Lite, it tastes the same all the time. It has a very particular set of hops. That's all they make. Yes, it's a skill to make it the same.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not disagreeing there. But if I compare that to something like McDonald's, and here's where the comparison comes in. I'm just going to look at their fries. They said, give me one kind of potato. That potato is our fries. and it ruined a whole bunch of other potatoes. There's finding sounds dumb, but heirloom potatoes are not easy to find. You have your white potatoes, you have your golden potatoes, you have your red potatoes, and you have your russets. Those are it. You can find others if you go to different farms, but you have to seek them out. Mm-hmm. And when I see something where it's like, well, the reason the second one is just going to be more on a beer I love that a lot of people don't, is a beer called Mad Elf, which is out of Trogs out of Hershey, Pennsylvania. And their Mad Elf doesn't taste the same every year because the cherries are different. It's not something that their process isn't the same. It's that the cherries taste different year to year. It's not something they can control. So while I do really understand what you're saying, like if I have an Oberon, I know exactly what I'm getting.
Right.
But they don't have any adjuncts in it that can change that up. So
that's different, though.
For me, but maybe I'm just speaking out of my ass.
I totally get that.
The seasonal's a little different, though, right, Cary?
Yes and no. So one thing I'll say about like Third Space, for example, when I worked for them, Kevin, our brewmaster, would go to hop selection every year to pick the hops in the lot that he felt tasted the most like Happy Place. Not the best mosaic hops available. He had access to hops that tasted amazing, but he was going in and taking the time to fly out to Yakima, Washington, which is 100,000 people, rural Washington, to smell the hops, to make sure that the hops that we got that year tasted like Happy Place, not just whatever. So and I totally I understand what you're saying. The care that he took to make sure that quality was the same everywhere is not the same care that every brewery takes. And that's the greater concern I have about it. I understand, for example, Odell, they make drumroll IPA every year, but they change the hop profile. So it's the same beer, but it tastes a little bit different every year. And I love that. It's a great beer every year.
They're advertising that.
Yeah, they let you know it's going to taste a little bit different.
Right. It's part of the whole
because it's the best seasonally available. Right. So it's not necessarily that the beer tastes slightly different. It's that the care for the quality just isn't there at some breweries where they just throw Twinkies into a mash tun and they think it's going to be awesome. And then people buy it because there's only 20 cases made. And they didn't take how the fuck is a Twinkie going to ferment in a fermenter? That shit shouldn't even be in our body, much less a beer. So that's where I have issue with craft and how I understand experimentation. And Sam Calagione from Dogfish Head is one of my idols. And he breaks the rules constantly. So I'm not like a Ryan Heitzka boot fucking advocate or anything. No, I'm okay with adjuncts. If you're not willing to put the care and quality into your beer and you let your beers explode and then blame it on the consumer because they didn't refrigerate it, no, you didn't brew that shit right. So don't blame the consumer for not putting it in their fridge. If your beer explodes, you don't know what quality is. That's it, period.
And Cary, I love how you called out some breweries without even saying their names.
450.
Boom, 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 I got them all.
Nobody should buy 2% fucking fute puree bullshit.
I can't wait to verify this in a couple minutes. Who you were just talking about, but I'm pretty sure I know.
there's a million of them. They're all the same. They make the same damn beer. That's the other problem. They all do the same thing. They put some fancy label on it, and then they put 300 gallons of fruit puree in it. And they let it ferment for a half a second, and it's 2% alcohol, and they advertise at 6%, and everybody wants it because there's only so much.
Cary said he wasn't going to rant.
I didn't. I didn't want to sound like old jaded guy, but here I am.
Hey, old jaded guy. Resident old man in this group, you don't.
Right. I get frustrated because the craft community that I fell in love with cared about quality and cared about the community. It was the rising tide lifts all ships philosophy. We were all in this shit together. And then it became a thing. It became trendy. It attracted a lot of money and a lot of people who saw the opportunity to make a lot of money. Right. And that's not what that culture was before. And now you see it. And you can taste it, man. You can taste the people that are in it for money.
We can go another hour, literally.
I could.
Well, I didn't even answer I didn't even ask the question, which is, or put us on a path, which is, so then, what does the pandemic do to all this? And part of my real take is that like the bottom, it's gonna cut out a lot of this stuff. Carries what I'm saying, because ultimately, because I think that we haven't even seen the closures that we're going to see yet. I actually think we're going to see more because we're going to get some of these loans coming in, and people aren't going to be able to pay them. I think opening's not going to be for some people fast enough. And what I mean by opening, I mean by people coming in and being comfortable. You can say you're 100% all you want, but you're not 100% till you're 100%. And that means you're not 100% until you're doing what you were doing before the pandemic. And I just don't know whether vaccinations. I mean, there's still people who are vaccinated that are hesitant to go out. There's still there are breweries in Madison that aren't even. You can go to 75%, I think, now in Madison. Most brewers I've seen are not even close. Ale Asylum has not opened their dining room yet. I don't know if Working Draft has opened theirs. My home Parched Eagle is 50%, 25%, and they know they can go 75%. They're just not. And so this opening is going to be really slower than people think, and that's going to cost people. And we also have the people not trying to go back to work, which people are blaming on the money that they get from the government, which is nothing. People aren't staying home because of that. People are staying home because they're worried, in my opinion, about what's going on as far as people protecting them, and they're not being paid enough to go back. But that's another. Again, we can go another 2 hours, but we'll probably go another hour on post production. Anyway, but Cary, I don't know if you want to respond to anything I just said. We got like comments still coming in that are crazy, but yeah. What you got?
I see Jerry's comment. Even a beer like Bell's Hopsland for me, while it tastes similar, it's never completely the same. And that's not what I'm talking about. Like when you drink it, you're not tasting the diacetyl any here, right? There's no off flavors. Like they quality control it. The hops may change, and that's not what I'm speaking to. I'm speaking to the quality. But yes, there needs to be better quality control, and they need to invest in it. And that's what they're not investing in. They're investing in marketing and social media. They're not investing in the quality control department. I guarantee you these breweries that have exploding cans do not have the same level of quality control as a Third Space or a Lakefront, where they have full-time quality control people that care. And that's a small brewery. Like, you don't have to be huge to have quality control. You know, it's something you should invest in. You know, it's not something that should be like an afterthought. It's like, oh, when we scale up, we'll get better at quality. Like, no, that should be a day one thing.
That's what I want to kind of do coming out of here. Is I would love to work quality control at any brewery, as opposed to being a rep like you. I don't want to be around. I'm sorry. Here we go. I don't want to be around people at this point. Bye. So,
do you see better?
Well, again, everybody knows I'm a people person, man. That's my shit. But not now. No, I'm done. I'm good. Cary.
Hi.
We should wrap up.
Did I drive everybody away? Did everybody stop watching because I went on a rant?
No, this is
it's been consistent, to be honest with you.
Where the things get a little bit
your viewership here has been literally on the same number it's been since the start.
Yep.
So, hey, thanks for watching, everybody.
It ain't you.
I'm glad I didn't scare you away.
It's definitely not me and Doug.
The thing is, the folks we had that watch this show are all about opinions. We want to hear opinions.
Right, and we don't give them enough credit for watching our crazy shit, especially Jerry and Matt and JHG. I mean, it just goes on and on. Our wonderful friend, they're all friends. So, the support from them is, well, we'll cheers to that, though, because we said we never do. We will. Cheers.
Cheers to all you. Thank you for
Cary, and thanks for giving Cary some pushback, because we know he needs some, or at least I know he needs some. So
bring it.
Drosner didn't show up tonight, so he said he was looking. Yeah,
we're gonna have to give him some shit.
I always give that guy shit.
Well, what we should do is get them both on at the same time, and then we can just get off. We can we can go back to the green screen and just let these two fight and argue. It'd be great.
Who's gonna fight?
Gladiator style.
Well, no one's gonna fight, but you come on now. to have you guys go at it, it'd be great. But so Cary, what did you have tonight before we
rate what you had and tell us what you liked, what you didn't like.
Ooh, what did I like? I had the
cheap ass employers? Yep.
yeah, Mountains Walking, nice fella,
Oh.
Pilsner. That was fantastic. It's really clean. It's really crisp. You know, you can always tell if a brewery is a good brewery based on their lagers because you can't hide behind anything.
Oh.
And this was
Another great
fantastic.
point.
It's just fantastic. It's super clean. It's super crisp. It's got really nice hop aroma without being over the top. That was a fantastic beer. Big Grove. If you just need to pound like 5 or 6 beers and you want to support a local brewery and you're ever in Iowa, yeah, hit this up. Boomtown Premium Beer. That was pretty tasty. It's not, nothing to write home about, but yeah, tasty. And then Reunion, this Pounder Hazy, that was a good little hazy. I liked it. 5.4%. It's got some really nice mouthfeel for a lighter, lower alcohol beer. I wasn't expecting some of that like creaminess from the oats. So definitely check them out if you're ever down in the Iowa City area. There's a cool little scene happening in Iowa City, Cedar Rapids, Des Moines. There's some stuff happening in rural Iowa and all their corn and pork tenderloin sandwiches.
Yeah, Iowa's a place. I don't know, Cary. We should talk. Maybe we could do a little Iowa trip. Iowa's a place I've never touched craft beer wise. Not even toppling Goliath for any of that. I haven't. I don't know. I just drive through Iowa because there's a lot of idiots out walking around. So I'm kind of like, lock my door so that Karen bitch that we saw earlier can't just like come and rip open the door. But
I lock my doors every day.
I'm with Lauren. Like my door probably would be locked, and I don't have one of those locking cars. You know what I mean? But I'm always locking my doors, so she would have never been able to get in. I would have screamed at her through the window, but that was not gonna happen. But you brought up before you go, I have to just show you like this Mountains Walking. I don't know. I gotta show it again. I had those wings. They're fucking fantastic. But Mountains Walking, man, I'm telling you, if you're anywhere near Bozeman, Montana, you have to go there. And again, Bozeman Brewing Company is literally a 2-minute walk from there. There are 2 breweries, literally 2-minute walk. And Bozeman Brewing Company, those guys are fantastic. They're fun. I gave them a bunch of Spotted Cow and other new Wisconsin beers, and then they ended up giving me a whole bunch of Bozeman beers. So it was just fun, and I brought them back and I shared them. So 2 breweries right there. But eat the food, eat at Mountain Walk. Fantastic, like small plates. See, I want Cary. Oh man, I gotta get this comment out of you before. I'm starting to really love, especially look, big man. I'm starting to really love what I see at breweries as far as small plates but high quality. Like tapas, kind of shareable. Like, yeah, I want to see more of that I want to see, because when Greg Washington goes to a brewery, I'm there to drink. I'm not really there to eat. But if I want to eat, I need something small and edible that I could share maybe, so that it doesn't fill me up because I'm out drinking. I'm not eating. Now again, if I'm there for dinner and all that, that's different. But like breweries, I want to see like small little plates, charge me a little bit more, make it higher quality, and like let's roll.
Dude, a food program can be such a game changer for a brewery. Like it adds that it keeps people in their seats, and that's at the end of the day, that's what you want. But yeah, when I'm drinking beers, I want a little snacky snack. What do you got? What's your go-to? I'm sorry, I know we're running long, but what's you guys' like go-to snack? What's the like one thing you crave after a couple of beers? What's the one like go-to app or like dish? Like what do you crave when you have like 3 or 4 beers in you?
Doug?
2 things. Fries.
Fucking
fries.
It's that saltiness. It's the saltiness with the beer. Is that what you're looking for?
It's the saltiness, and I fucking love potatoes in every form except sweet potatoes. Those things can fuck off.
Oh, we didn't get the food change tonight, but you have to fucking pull that shit. I hate
yes,
sweet
I
potatoes.
do. But if I'm at home drinking, what I really like to have when I'm drinking, peanut butter filled pretzels.
Oh, those are so good. I just got a bag.
They are
Like
delicious.
Rolos or
They're not candy. They're pretzels with peanut butter in them.
No. Okay, I'm sorry, not Rolos. What are those dumb things that the pretzels? They're filled
Well, you mean,
pretzels.
yes, I know what you mean, but they're like usually nacho cheese and pretzels, and they're
Combos.
Combos.
No,
Thank
this is different. These are
Rolos,
square little
no,
peanut
Rolos,
butter
sorry.
square little pretzels with peanut butter in them, and they're delicious.
Ooh, Lauren.
What did Lauren say?
Greg, you got to put Lauren's question up. Yep, that one.
Doug?
Well, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What was it? Oh, well, all right. I'm going to qualify this by saying nearly any potato product.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I love tater tots. My wife makes fun of me because it makes me look like I'm a 5-year-old. I don't
What?
care. They're delicious.
No.
What?
No, your wife's in the wrong, Doug.
No,
Right.
no. That's just not her preferred vehicle for potatoes. That's okay.
Yeah, but she's still wrong.
But she's wrong for judging you. She's wrong for judging you and making you feel like a 5-year-old.
Isn't that marriage? You
Lots of
just got to
adults-
judge each other for dumb little things.
That's
like-
not the one she
No,
should
but
judge
I
you for,
can't
though.
know. I'm a
Tots
friend
are
of
awesome.
Joe's. Right, and I'm a friend of Joe's, and I can't. So, like, I'm not married to her, so I can come at her.
Yeah, but here's it again. I will say if I am making, I weirdly make good homemade fries in an air fryer. They're excellent.
Oh.
But tater tots, you can take the frozen ones and just throw them in an air fryer for like 10 minutes, and they're fucking ready to go, man. Do it.
Tots are the shit.
With a
That
little
is correct.
Parmesan. When they put Parmesan and the scallions on it, oh man!
I'm a ketchup person for tater tots. So
Jerry says tortilla chips, which are
tortilla chips are a good call.
Again, clearly. So who's this? Fries, wings, and crab balls. Now the
What's a
crab
crab
balls.
ball?
Be Kelly.
What's a crab ball?
Who is it?
I think it's Kelly Pressbury.
Okay, crab balls are great. Right.
What's
Wings.
a crab ball?
Wings. Okay, but
Crab ball is just basically like a meatball, but it's crab meat. So it's almost like a mini crab cake.
Ooh.
and they're probably deep fried.
They're yummy.
Is that a New York thing, or where can I get some of that?
It's from Baltimore, so
Kelly
like
from Baltimore,
crab,
it would be an East Case. Yeah, like Baltimore, big old crab fest, crab bakes, all those wonderful things. I never really got into Kelly. We gotta do something meat in Baltimore. You gotta give me the crab lowdown because I don't know. I was took. Oh wow, I'm getting bad with English. I was took to wait. My grandmother took me to a crab bake. How about that? Okay.
There we go. That was a tricky sentence, man.
Wow, the tequila. So I never really got crab, man. I just really never got it. So like I would like to get it. I like the flavor. I just never really got it. So crab balls though, I'm down. Doug, damn it, yams are the business. Right. KFC agrees combo.
If you like them, enjoy the shit out of them because you can have my share. I'll be happy to hand them over.
I love Jerry. Wings are
I'll eat your sweet potato fries, Doug.
Wings are too much work.
What?
So I just got Doug knows. I just got this one of those Commando Joe smokers, one of those big ceramic egg things. I don't give a fuck now. Like I just want wing. I want smoked wings, and I will wait whatever 2 hours it takes to smoke the fucking wings. Like I'm with you, Jerry. Though they do take a lot of work, but they don't take a lot of work when you roll up to a brewery and there's a fucking wing truck outside that is wafting like wing air right into the brewery. What's that fucking? I can't remember it now because I've had 2 shots tequila. There's a brewery in Denver that has a wing truck that is like award-winning wing truck, and you walk up to the brewery and the wings are like right outside, and you're just like that wing fry smell. To me, is something I could bathe in. Like that smell is my shit. I wish if there was an underarm deodorant for wing fry smell, I would wear it. Actually,
you'd have a lot of dudes following you, Greg.
Now, hey, is that a white thing? Listen, Cary, is that a white thing?
Truck?
Cary, is that a white thing?
What?
Wings flavored underarm deodorant.
That feels I don't know. I think that could be multicultural.
Hey,
Right.
man. Hey, I think that's multicultural. Look how everybody fucking loves wings. It doesn't matter what color you are. It
I was
doesn't.
just-
Everybody loves wings.
Well, Carrie was pressing me on some shit that was white and all that, and I didn't. Again, I wasn't feeling it with what we were talking about before, so I had to ask Carrie if that was something like along the lines that like he was looking.
Greg, am I
Right.
going to be your new whiteness correspondent or what?
Yeah,
What's
we're always looking for extra help around here. Wings are too much work for so little meat. Jerry,
now,
Hey,
Jerry, are you
Jerry.
talking about the preparation of them or the eating of them?
Jerry, enough with the innuendo, man. Knock that off.
oh, there's no yeah. I want thick-headed, lots of meat. Wings a turnoff.
So, Jerry, is it the preparation of them or the eating of them that's too much work?
I think both. But why not just listen? Put 6 of these things on my smoker out back, and just come back in 2 hours, and we'll have like, yeah. Jerry's right though. You got to eat a lot of wings to fill up though.
That's fair.
If you get good wings, they got some substance to it. But are you a flats guy or a drumstick guy?
Oh, Doug.
I don't care.
Either.
Me both. They just give me both. I don't care.
I prefer flats because I can take them in one bite. It's a whole technique.
Okay.
It's probably a white thing.
Oh, that's where you put. No. See now, chicken, man. Chicken's a black thing. It's not even like so. Fried chicken. You know, we kind of have to own that one. So it's.
Greg, I love you, buddy.
right.
Just leaning into this shit.
So all wings are not created equal. Well, I'm not.
Kelly.
Why, Kelly? Why? Like because do you agree with Carrie? Whereas like the flats are better because my son he prefers the flats too, and I don't care. I just want it to be crispy and have some damn flavor.
Yeah,
that's what my wings.
Can I interject one thing?
Yes, sir.
Do you dry rub wings or wings with sauce on them?
I'm a dry rub guy.
Why is this answer not both?
I'm with you.
I prefer the dry.
It depends on the rub. But yeah.
Crispiness.
The dry rub thing is a new thing, and it's welcome here, and it's fantastic because some of your sauces, like Carrie was going off about craft beer, some of your sauces are just trash.
Mm-hmm.
So like, don't even throw that shit on there if you're going to. Because I'm with Carrie. Like, if you throw sauce on those wings, you're taking away that crispiness that we're all looking for. Mm-hmm. So like, or a little bit of it, unless you get them out, unless you crisp them motherfuckers hard. And you put like the right amount of sauce, not too much to overpower that shit. Like there's a fucking science there with wings. I'm a wings guy. That's the first thing I look for. Do you have wings? Well, fucking shit, you don't? I'm out. And that's why I like them, Jerry, because again, I can get 6 wings at a brewery, and that can just sustain me for like another fucking 6 breweries. I think I find the next best wings.
Yeah, I think I'm like kind of sort of Canadian in that if I just have fries and if you could throw gravy on them and cheese would be great, but like I'm good with fries and gravy.
Ooh.
So that's your
right.
like so that's what you look for at a brewery when you're like, you know, with me, you're doing like brewery tours and.
Yeah, that would be great. I don't expect that. I just expect them to mostly have just shit food. So I'm not too worried about it. I just give me something that fills me up so I can have more beer.
Jerry's team no salsa. I would say Jerry is dry rub. Dry is that Kelly?
That's Kelly. Yep.
Yep.
That's her. That's her. Still.
Oh, I need farm raised wangs. Those are bigger and like badder. So one of these things too is we started getting from a butcher through the pandemic, curbside and all that good stuff. But this motherfucker, the portion sizes, like, so they had a deal, pork butt, which ultimately is pork shoulder, but they call it pork butt. And that's, you know, like you can make carnitas, you can make shredded pork, you can make pulled pork, you can make all that shit from a pork butt. So we got one of these smokers. So we're like, yeah, we'll get a pork butt. You know, we got 4 people. These motherfuckers gave us a 10-pound pork butt. Like, like, right now it's cool, but they get like these motherfuckers give us these wings that are like this big. Like we want 2 pounds of wings. They're this big, and there's like 5 of them. I'm not gonna call them out on here. Gary, I will tell you though in a couple minutes. I'll tell you who they are. My point is that like they make the portions are so big. We're almost like, what the hell is going on? So like, I don't know if you've ever experienced that too. I don't know if that's
it's like genetically altered birds that were grown near a nuclear factory. Here you go. Here's this giant.
Right. Like the chicken breasts are literally this big. I'm not joking. They're this big. I'm like, where the like is this just a butcher? Or like, yeah, okay. So I'll put it in a here you go.
Those pterodactyl wings? Is this like a prehistoric butcher? Like,
you know this place. You know this place. Everybody knows this place in Madison. I just put it in the side thing. It's crazy, Cary. It's crazy. Like,
I gotta get some. I've never gotten wings.
Oh my goodness! And they'll probably be great for you and the wife because you know you guys only eat like 1 or 2, and like you just get like 2 pounds, and they're just big. It's crazy. Anyway, but yeah, farm raised wangs they're good. I found the quality that you can find in chicken. Yeah, so French fries, onion gravy.
Ooh. That's Kelly. Kelly, wait, I thought Kelly didn't like gravy. Is that the wrong?
Apparently, onion gravy.
Okay. Again, if you don't like gravy, I don't even really know what to do with you as a person.
Gravy's just flavor. Like
I want to say you're a horrible human being, but I won't say that. But like, Cary, we get pretty harsh here with the food shaming, and actually, yeah. I'm not even gonna bring up another.
You're gonna shame me.
Just like barbecue sauce, team knows. I just like barbecue, team no sauce. Good crisp fries, no ketchup.
Or ketchup.
Or ketchup.
Hey man, fries, ketchup. That's me. I need ketchup with my fries.
Pork shoulder is the best meat in the world, and naturally has the perfect ratio of meat to fat for sausage. I came back for the fries. Yes. See, that's a turkey one. Right.
Yeah,
I like turkey legs too. Turkey leg. Gravy is the devil.
Manny.
What, Manny? Mr. Cereal. So you don't like cereal gravy, Manny? Manny likes all cereals, Casey. He's a cereal head. He's gonna be on a couple weeks, and we get to delve into that. But yeah, and then Kelly says, "Oh no, Doug, I love gravy.
Okay.
I love mushroom soup on my waffles."
I'd never heard of that, but there's a thing where my parents. Yeah, there's a thing in Central Pennsylvania where they. Yeah, that face. There's a thing in Central Pennsylvania at Easter. They will serve waffles, and they will give you a thin turkey gravy to go with your waffles. Nothing else, just the gravy with your waffles.
Wow. Okay.
Weird thing.
All right, Cary. We will see you in September. You tell me.
24th.
You better get that right.
Come on. I know that one.
Cary better get that right because that's his anniversary.
It is.
So he's coming back with his wife on September
24th.
Him and his wife will be here, and we will get into more food stuff. It's great. It'll be great too because we've hit the preliminary stuff with you. Everybody knows who Rebecca is. Go back if you want. So then we can really get into some good food shaming. We can tell Doug about how he's just out of line about avocados and top sheets. So we can really go, yes.
Wait, avocados too? Sweet potatoes and avocados? Doug.
Right. And there's another one too.
Trust me, I have opinions.
Me too.
So yeah, we'll get into all that, Cary. September 24th.
Yes.
It's always a pleasure to have you around, buddy.
Yeah,
love you guys.
Thank you.
You're
man.
awesome. This is fun. Always. Hope you guys have a great weekend.
Awesome. Stick around for post-production if you feel. If not, we'll see you September 24th for sure.
All right.
Cheers.
Adios.
Doug, what did you drink tonight, and did you like it?
I liked all my beers. I will say that
Did you have alcohol tonight?
I was going to drink the mezcal and decided against it.
Oh, okay. You got that for next week, though.
Do. So, again, I'm not going to say anything was bad. Nothing was bad. I'm just basing on what I liked. So, as we normally do. So, the unicorn parts was good. It was tart. It was tart. It was something I really liked. But second was the Game of Thrones from McKellar, the 10-year Iron Anniversary beer, which was a double dry hopped IPA. I'm not generally a fan of double dry hopped IPAs. This was not super hop punch you in the face stuff. So for what it was, really good for the style. And it's going to sound weird, but this little 4.2% orange flavored lager, I really fucking enjoyed. This is really good. And I'm probably going to buy more so I can put it in my fridge for when I'm mowing grass and I'm done, because this is good. Excellent fucking beer for after you're done doing yard work.
Damn. And we don't like to go back to beers, too, so that says a lot. We really, or at least I'll speak for myself, and I know.
Yeah, there's a handful of ones that I do, and that's going to be, if I can find more of it, I'm going to buy more of it.
You're less drastic than me, is what I was going to say, and yeah, I'm really drastic on that. And you're less than me, but you're still kind of more in my area about that, for sure.
Yeah.
So Doug, avocados, Doug, come on, brother.
Hey, that's fine.
Boiled eggs in a soup. They do that in like pho and stuff, right?
Was it boiled eggs? That's more like, I thought, like an Asian thing, like when you're making ramen.
Right. Ramen, or pho's. I think pho is a
pho. Yeah,
is a type of ramen.
It's a Vietnamese thing, and I don't know that they do that as much. I think it's generally more of a Japanese ramen thing, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just think of them all as like Asian soups, and that's kind of like an Asian soup kind of characteristic is with eggs and stuff, as opposed to an American, which is not. I hope your weekend is gravy, Doug.
Gravy. Thank you, Manny.
No, in the mushroom soup is where
with my waffles.
Right, and the boiled eggs. Right, with my waffle. You guys forgot. we do the second hour. After how many shots and all that.
As it always does.
Lauren, Cary's fun. You already know, Lauren.
Yeah.
So I did sneak in another Demento here from Ale Asylum. I had that on last week. It's their session IPA. Pretty good. But as far as the beers that I liked, Sexual Chocolate was number one.
That sounded delicious.
Yeah, Matt Strain. Thanks, brother. Got my back on that one. That was really, really nice. And it drank like, again, this is one of your Southern Tier, man. Right up your alley with the Southern Tier. Kind of the same. I mean, recipe is probably a little bit, much the same. Bourbon, speaking of Southern Tier, I had their bourbon smash today. That was fantastic. Like you said, a nice crisp drink now, especially if you want a little bourbon kick, but not enough.
Mm-hmm.
You can have it in the afternoon and not be like you were at the campsite, like you told us earlier today. And last and certainly not least was the Three Amigos and Yeho. I didn't really get to talk about it because we're going on, but it was smooth. If you saw my reaction on my face, it wasn't like, like people don't like that ghastly burn of tequila, and this does not have it at all. But most añejos won't, because they're aged in barrels, and I think that takes a lot of the heat off of tequila specifically. Doug will have a mezcal next week, but yeah, I'm going to be trying to bring on more tequila. We're going to have tequila time here. It was Cinco de Mayo, so hopefully people, did the old Mexican thing this week. But thank you. Let's see. Matt Trish says, I'm glad you liked it. Thank Matt. But again, it was a curveball because I thought it was an NA beer. So that was fun, even though you didn't even mean to fuck with me. You did. And it was great. So, Doug, as you see on the bottom, we have certified sister and Rita Trionis from Chicago area, and I believe we are friends with Rita on Facebook, and we saw her. She was at the Kentucky Derby last week.
Yeah, and we also have to talk to her about Half Acre because they sold a piece of their business. Yes, they did. That was posted by our friend Afrobeer Chick.
Who, look at that, representing, and it's bomb, and we got to get her on this stream. We don't even have her. We don't even have her schedule. What am I doing?
Oh, we'll get her in. Don't you worry. It'll be fine.
Oh, I know. Okay, Doug, we'll see you soon. Have a great weekend.
Love you, brother.
Cheers.